For the invocation and the pledges and I guess I didn't ask anybody, I'll do the invocation. Most gracious Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day, Lord. We ask for your guidance as we make these decisions in the next few days and a couple of weeks. I know they are difficult decisions for all of us. We ask that you help us to put aside our differences, put aside our opinions, political opinions, anything, and do what is right for this county. We pray for all of our employees, all the departments, department heads, the groups that are helping us to come up with these numbers, the individuals who have made cuts in their own departments. Lord, we know that this is a difficult task for everyone involved. We pray for guidance for each and every one of us. We ask for your continued prayers for our military and the men and women who serve far away or here at home, everything, Lord. Be with us, be with each and every one of us. Help us to do what is right and to do it in your name and give you the glory and the honor for each and every piece of it. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
It is 9:12, and we have a quorum of all members present. It is Monday, August 21st, and we are at 901 Leopard, the Nueces County Courthouse. So we will begin. If there is any public comment, Ade, was there anybody signed up for public comment? Do you know? There was no one signed up for public comment, so we're going to go ahead and go straight into our budget workshop. And I see that we have the hospital district here. So if we could, let's do the hospital district first so that they can get out of here and get back over, if that's all right with everyone. So Jill wanted to talk to us about, I know you had a meeting and you had some things that you weren't going to continue with in the future, or possibly continue with, yes.
Good morning, Judge, Commissioners. My name's John Valls. I have the privilege of serving as the chairman of the board of the Nueces County Hospital District. With me, I have Mr. Johnny Hipp, our CEO.
Good morning, Commissioners.
Good morning, Johnny.
I don't wear my glasses too often, but I do when Johnny presents us a budget. I think y'all all have a copy of it. We actually have two versions, Judge. We've given you version number 1, and we will be handing out version number 2. Our current tax rate is 0.098846. And in version 1, I'm just going to hit you the highlights. I'm not going to go through every line item unless you would like me to. Then myself or Mr. Hipp will explain everything that's in there if you see something that you'd like for us to pull out and talk in more detail. Version number 1 is a no new revenue tax rate. And with that tax rate, that would reflect you see it at the very top of page 2, 0.091963, which is well below our current rate of 0.98846. Now, with that no new revenue tax rate, the revenue that it generates for us and the expenses that we have are going to impact the county programs greatly. If you'll turn to the very last page, it's actually Exhibit C. At that tax rate, with the no new revenue rate, These are all of the programs that the hospital district currently funds to the county, and then the county expends those funds, primarily focused in these programs, but the way that the structure is now, we don't specify where you put the money. Y'all put the money where you think it should be put, but for the most part, the numbers are the same. So if you look at number one is the mental health services. It's the same amount as the previous year, 24 to 23. So all of the critical services that the hospital district provides, and in particular, the services that are mandated by the county to be provided, we are continuing to fund at the same level. Where we start getting a little dicey, if you'll notice number one, on the MHID state match program, it's the same, as is the jail diversion, the crisis intervention training, and so forth. The mental health services department, that one is being shifted to another line item. And item number two is the health department expenditures. I know the judge and Commissioner Gonzalez and Mr. Hipp and myself met with the city staff, and we ironed out the contribution for the next year health department expenses. So we're funding that one, and there's a few other items embedded in there, vector control, and there's an outreach program for the mobile clinic out in the Robstown area. I believe Commissioner Gonzalez, that's your program. Item number three is a mandate, legislative mandate to provide medical services, and I'm sorry, that's going to be on number five, but here's one item that we're looking at closely, and I know, Judge, you're already on top of this. Is item number three is the medical services, which is the ambulance services out in the rural areas and then within the city of Robstown. We're going through a process, and I believe, Judge, you're spearheading that, of auditing that program to find out if when there is somebody that is transported via ambulance, if whichever district is providing those services is actually billing and receiving revenue off of that, so that it could basically come back in and replenish the fund.
As
But-
in sometimes
Yeah.
insurance proceeds or people privately pay when they get something, yes.
That's correct, Judge. And the collection rate,
Auto accidents.
Yeah.
too.
Yes, auto accidents, yes.
and the collection rate
Especially.
usually isn't immediate. It's usually months down the road. So that's a program that we're looking at, and I know the judge is really got her microscope on it. We're also providing some assistance to item number four, is the juvenile detention center. That amount is been trimmed down just a little bit. I think there was some increase. The 67,000 was related to some healthcare expenses for the employees out in that area. The reason we have it a little reduced is because we weren't sure yet if the county was going to continue the same amount of staff out there. So that's why we have it trimmed down a little bit. Everybody's going through a hard budget time and budget crunches, and some positions aren't being filled or no longer being utilized. So that's why that number is a little bit low.
If you don't mind, could I
Yep.
ask something about number one?
Sure.
On the jail-based competency restoration? I was in a department head meeting, and the public defender's office said that because our state hospitals and other functions are taking, 800 days, I can't remember, 600, 800 days if you try to go through there, because they have to see if a person is competent to stand trial or defend themselves, that this was a vital part of slowing down that process, of speeding up that process and getting the people able to go to trial or whatever it is necessary. I just heard that this morning, so I'm not real familiar with it. Can you tell me what, in y'all's opinion, what this did?
Good morning, Judge and Commissioners again. With regard to item 1B, the MHID program, some of them, as Mr. Vol said, are in our next suggested budget in this version, are zeroed out. So we went through and looked at all these county expenditures, and we made a determination, at least on our side, about what we thought was essential. Okay?
And you had cuts
and
too,
so
your
we-
budget has been impacted as well.
And so we did that without the benefit of the DA's office or anybody else having input. And so I guess that's part of the workshop today, is to get that input. But we went through these MHID programs, and what we arrived at there were basically three programs that have to work in tandem with each other that we were going to recommend that we retain and not reduce, and that would be the crisis intervention team. And that's basically where the city police officers, I think Sean Barnes, Officer Barnes has been in here before you all, Constable McCahan or McCacken has been in here from Precinct 2. I believe and talked to you all about the virtues of that program. And the CIT program, I think Officer Barnes said it his last time he was before you all, that they felt like that they were a year or two out before this would be sort of the preeminent program in the state of Texas, because we were so far ahead of everybody else. And I think the Mayor Guajardo at her address last week mentioned that the city was putting in more CIT officers. So, Judge, to get more specifically to your question, the jail-based competency restoration program did not make our list because we basically didn't have any input from anyone, the DA's office or anyone else, about whether that program was needed. It was one of the programs that got zeroed out because on our side, it's hard to measure.
I told her that and told her that she really needed to get with y'all and explain that or see the importance to,
Yeah.
Today, I told her.
Yeah. And so, Judge and Commissioners, at the end of the day, we'll be looking for y'all's input clearly on these programs. But that was one where it seemed like there was, even though it's probably the lowest cost program, it's still, we couldn't gauge the cost effectiveness of it. And once we kind of go through and get some more information on that, it could be back on the list to fund for next year.
As I said, I'm not that familiar. I just wanted to
And I'm not the
make you
expert there
aware,
either,
and
so
they're going to be
yes.
calling. So thank you.
you.
Sorry to interrupt your presentation, but thank you.
Thank you. Which one do you have there?
Version 1.
Okay. Is this one yours? Or is- Yeah, that one's yours. That one's yours. Okay. And Judge, again, let me just back up. The board had a meeting, a budget workshop last week, and we were presented with two versions. The board is leaning towards one, but we have a meeting again tomorrow where we're going to go in a little more detail on both versions. And then at that point, we will select one, and then that's the one that we will forward to the court for consideration. And again, as Mr. Hipp, those, and item 1B, those items, some of them have been zeroed out. As we saw is not necessarily non-essential, but not vital to our mission statement. And our mission has to come first, so.
I totally
But we
understand.
have version 2, so we'll get you hopefully where you want to be. And if we could go down to item 5, which is the county healthcare services, that's a mandate, that's a state mandate that the county provide healthcare to any inmate in the county jail. And when an inmate is in the county jail, they are automatically covered by either Medicaid or the Nueces Aid program, which is the program that the hospital district was established for and funds. Item 6A and 6B and 7 and 8, and you'll see how those are all zeroed out. Based on the no new revenue rate that we have, these programs are zeroed out because, again, we saw them as non-essential. They're to our mission. They're necessary for the county and for the community, we understand that, but we're all facing a budget crunch here, and these are the programs that we felt that we could most try to pick up again the following budget year. And then item number 9, I'm sorry?
Did y'all take out the diabetes?
That's on number 7, you mean?
I think so. I thought that
zeroed
that
out.
was supposed to go back on there, but,
Well, Commissioner, this is version 1.
Oh.
We're gonna, I think you'll be more,
okay, okay.
you'll prefer version 2 probably a little bit more, but
I'm sorry.
I just want to show you what we're faced with on the no
Okay.
new revenue rate.
got it.
Okay, and so item 9 is some of the public health grants. Coastal Bend Wellness and the Amistad Clinic, we've zeroed those out, but we have allocated funding for the AHEC program. But we have since got input on the two above it, that they kind of work in tandem, all three of them. So we're looking at putting funding back in there, and I think you'll see that in version number 2, okay? So, do they have version number 2, John?
We're going to distribute version 2 to you.
Okay,
I'll just leave this
So you don't want to confuse y'all with both.
we only have version 1.
Thank you.
Thanks.
How many versions do you have?
Just 2.
Just 2.
17.
That's, that'd be par for our course, right?
No, Commissioner, we know
You'd
y'all
still be
have
behind us.
Y'all have a very heavy docket, so we want to get through.
No,
it
it's okay.
As soon as possible.
I appreciate y'all's help.
Multiple iterations between 1 and 2, but
Yeah.
No, I appreciate your help. I was just asking.
Okay.
Okay, on version number 2, if you'll notice the highlighted bullet points, this version incorporates a 4% above the no new revenue rate, and the maximum is 8%. Hospital districts are unique, and they're not as subjected to the 3.5% as counties and cities are. So hospital districts are still at 8%. And if you might remember, last fiscal year, we were at 5% because we had some other programs to pick up for the county, and y'all adopted it, our presented budget with the 5% increase, but was still lower than the tax rate from the previous year. Yeah. Right, right. So if you go to the next page, page 2, which is the colored columns, at the very top, you'll see that the tax rate for this particular version is 0.085242, and that's slightly above as the one we presented in version 1. However, that amount being at the 4% allows us to generate just enough revenue to continue to fund some of the programs that we just discussed here today. And so let me get you to go into the back area, because I think that's mainly what you're interested in. The last page, Exhibit C, are the county programs that we fund. But again, let me preface all of that by saying we don't direct this money specifically for that program. We allocate it to the county, and the county allocates it to those programs, because all of these agreements are between the county and the program. Some of them are contractual and some are just departmental. But what we are doing, and with the help of Ms. Dorsey and the county attorney's office, is we are formalizing these agreements now, or creating agreements between us and the county so that the money is specific to the program, okay? Because in the past, it's always kind of just been a gentleman's agreement, and a lot of these programs are legacy programs. So if you'll notice, I think this one will give you a little more comfort. If you'll notice on this page here, everything except item C on 1C is back in. So with the 4% above the new revenue rate, we're able to fund all of the programs that we funded in the current fiscal year next year. And again, even though it's 4% above the no new revenue rate, it is still a tax rate decrease from the current year. So you would go from 0.098846, you would go down to 0.085242. So it would still be a decrease in our current tax rate. So you'll see, Commissioner Gonzalez, the number 7, the diabetes program, that funding has been put back in. And we've had time between our budget workshop and now to basically validate some of these programs. But again, the first version was just giving you the no new revenue rate. So this one has the 4% above the tax rate, which gives us a little bit more revenue to continue to fund all these programs. But fortunately enough, it also brings down the tax rate at the same time.
And I
So,
think on your tax rate, on the first one.
Yes.
You said 0.9, this paper says 0.81963.
right,
At the top.
0.9 is the current tax rate.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it wasn't written on here, I'm sorry.
No, yeah, well, I was looking, I'm reading this wrong, because
Yeah.
I see no 0.9.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I should have
Okay,
gotten y'all to write that down. We should have highlighted that on there. 0.98846 is our current rate. So version number 2 would bring our rate to 0.85242. So it's still a decrease from the
very
current rate.
much, yeah.
But we feel, the board was leaning towards
Wait, it's
version number 2.
0.08.
Yeah,
It's
0.08,
0.8, right?
yes,
Because
yeah.
that's 0.8 of a penny.
Right.
0.9 of a penny we're talking about here.
Right.
Okay, just,
Yeah.
let's say it like that, because a lot of times
Okay.
up here, we're 28 cents.
right.
Now
We're
going
8
to
cents.
24, you're
Yeah.
like, yeah.
Yeah.
That's, okay, that's a
Okay.
big, that's a big, that's not much, anyway. You know what I'm trying to say, just,
Right, right. But fortunately, it's still a decrease from the current.
no, I'm saying that's a good thing, right? It's
Yeah.
not, anyway.
Well, we felt, no, thank you, Commissioner. We felt that we didn't necessarily need to take it all the way up to the 8% at the 4%. above the new revenue rate would generate enough revenue to continue to fund all the programs that you saw zeroed out. We could have gone to 6, we could have gone to 7, we could have gone to 8, but we didn't need the differential between the 4 and the 8. So we wanted to just get to a percentage where it generated enough revenue to be able to fund the programs that we had already zeroed out. Does that make sense?
Yes, thank
Okay.
you.
So you'll see the last page has everything funded again. And we're fortunate that we're able to do that. And maybe that's why the legislature left the hospital districts at the 8%. And our tax rate is actually pretty low. And it's been going down and going down and going down. And, but the appraised values have been going up substantially, so we're in a pretty good position, all things considered.
Yes.
Yeah. So, Commissioners and Judge, do y'all have any questions on the last page of the county programs that we fund?
So what positions are not being covered under item 1C? The
Item
Mental Health
1C.
Services Department?
Those are the, we used to have the mental health director and assistant director, and I think they had an assistant, right? Yeah, and now they're moved out to Robstown. It's under a different line
It's
item.
Doctor, it's
Yeah.
the next line item.
Yeah.
They're still the same people, yeah.
Yeah. once you
Under
show-
number
They've
2.
been moved to line item 2.
Yeah.
They've all been absorbed there. But basically, it's the same money. They're just relabeled in a different line.
Yeah, it's on 2, Robstown Public Health Outreach and Mobile Clinic, Commissioner, you see that? Of the 313? Yeah, it's covered in there.
And then,
So we're not eliminating those, funding those positions. They've just been moved to another department within the county, so we had to move them into a different line item on the budget. But, we're happy to report that we're able to continue to fund all of the county programs, because I know the court considers all of these essential, otherwise you wouldn't have had them in the first place, especially the ones at the bottom that really touch the community most immediately. And I think it's typically through the commissioners in their fund are able to contribute to these programs. So, Johnny?
Commissioners, I'd like to just close by saying that the budget, version 2, covers basically everything that we did last year. We meet our constitutional duty to take care of the indigent. We continue mental health funding, which is important in the community. It absorbs the city-county health department, our city-county health district, funding in it per the agreement that Commissioner Gonzalez helped work out a month or 2 ago. We continue the importance of covering emergency medical services. We continue to provide medical care to juvenile detention facilities. We also absorb a contract increase from Armour in terms of providing medical care at the jail next door. And as Mr. Vol said a while ago, items 6 through 9, it continues the funding we had with them or for them last year. So I'm just trying to tell you that in a macro kind of way, it's essentially last year going next year if that's the way we go. Thank you.
thank you.
With the caveat that we have a tax rate decrease.
Yes. Any other questions, commissioners? Anything for them?
Okay, Judge, and tomorrow, the board, at our meeting, we're going to consider both versions again, and we're going to end up adopting one of them. I feel confident that we will. And once we do, Mr. Hipp will convey that over to your office, and then we'll be able to start getting that on your agenda.
Do you want to know what we think?
Pay for what?
Yeah.
Would you like to ask our opinion since we appoint you all?
John,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
always want to know what you think.
Oh, no, I'm just
Version
saying us
one?
collectively, not just me.
Version 1?
Sure.
Version 1? Okay,
No,
go ahead, John.
I wanted to ask, just backtracking a little bit, on line item 7 that you have there in version 2, the diabetes, we had talked about maybe cutting back some of our funding, right, whether it be outside agency. I don't know if diabetes was considered. So is that to replace it, or is this a different program?
No, this is the same program that y'all had last year.
So then we
What
wouldn't
we
have to
pay
take it
for,
from our
yes.
budget.
Right. I believe each member of the court is allocated $10,000 apiece. And then y'all basically allocate those within your own precincts to these programs. I know Commissioner Chesney is very active out in his precinct with this program, as is Commissioner Gonzalez. So that's the program, that it won't be cut in our budget if we do go with version 2. Now, if you want us to go with version 1, then yeah, all of that stuff will get cut.
And Teresa, did we all use this fund?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So then we're all active.
You're
using
all
that fund.
active,
Okay,
right, yeah,
good.
you're all active.
Good.
You're all
good,
active,
good. Just want to make sure.
for sure,
All
for
right.
sure.
Okay. And the Halo Flight funding, is that to cover the cost that we, of it was a line item that was
No.
separate funding, or is this the
I think this was
actual?
like us, that we just did
This
it.
is what we did from last year?
The benefit of the
I
employees.
don't know what your funding line item is, but this is the contribution that we make, and this covers, is it all the county employees, or is it just our?
Just y'all's,
Yeah.
we have our own, it comes
Yeah.
out of the employees.
Right.
So this is not the separate line item? 'Cause
This is
it-
just
it
a
showed-
donation, right?
It showed
Say
like,
again?
it
Sorry.
showed like all the economic development corporations that we fund, Halo Flight was under there for 10 or 15, so I was just not sure, did this move?
No.
Or
Well,
this
this is ours,
already-
y'all.
this
I don't
was
know what
already
you have in
established?
yours, but
Gotcha.
this is ours. We
Okay.
contribute this to y'all, and
So
it'll,
their employees are
Well,
covered,
hold
Right.
on.
This is,
Yes.
this is employee benefit.
employees.
These are our employee benefits.
Teresa to the
Ours
rescue, hold
comes out
on.
of, this is to cover the
It's a
hospital
separate
district
agreement. This is
employees.
the hospital district contribution, but we also fund Halo Fight 15,000
From
from
ours.
emergency
That,
services.
that's what threw me off, is that it was the same
Yes.
amount, so I wasn't just sure,
Right.
since y'all are covering
separate.
some areas of funding, if this was kind of a swap of it. But
Right.
this is what y'all already contributed last year.
Yes, sir.
That you show on the next column from the budget 23.
yes, sir.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you,
Okay.
Commissioner. Mr.
All
Gibb?
right.
And
Thank you.
the only question I have, and let me just say, I appreciate the heck out of what y'all do. But again, I don't want, us to put you in a position, because we're making our tough decisions over here. I don't want you to feel like you have to do just because, in other words, if you want to meet somewhere in the middle and cut us in half, then that's what we got to live with, because it's not fair for us to be asking department heads, and, because I'm fixing to, I'm gonna, on this little checklist that we go down, like outside agency, I mean, I think we as a court are gonna have to make that sacrifice, and depending on if we have the votes to do it, right? So if you think maybe it's a lesser of an increase and you fund us half of some of these programs, I don't know. I mean, I don't want it to be an unfair thing that we're just, because we're gonna make some cuts over here that are gonna affect people.
Well, Commissioner, I think-
I'm a little torn on this one, because I appreciate the heck
Yeah.
of what you're trying to do. You're trying to help us, and you always do, and y'all are a great partner. But at the same time, some of our outside agencies are gonna get some cuts. I don't know if some of these shouldn't as well, if we're going to make some cuts on our end. So, I'm just throwing that out for contemplation too, because if these 3 or 4 get full funding, and then the 10 that we're cutting over here get half funding, is that an inequity? So I'm just throwing that out for consideration.
Well, I know where you're going with that, but Commissioner, but these are the programs that we assist the county in funding.
Right.
You do not have to allocate this money to those organizations if you
But we
don't want to.
will. I mean, it's, I mean,
We will.
if you're allocating it for, Centercorps, we're gonna give it to Centercorps. We're not gonna
Right.
jingle them. I mean,
Yeah.
if you're sending it over for that, then that's what I think we have an obligation to do. If you're not, then we don't, then we don't. But, and I'm not saying you shouldn't. I'm just saying, times are tough. Everybody's in a bad spot. I'm open to suggestion on some of those if it'll help reduce the taxes a
Well-
little bit too, so.
I understand that, Commissioner, but
I think
some,
that-
some of these programs, within our own budget, we are making cuts within our own budget. These are just the programs that we help the county
No,
with.
and I get it, it's not fair for you to be making cuts in your budget and not make some cuts, and that's my
Right.
point, is I know what you're doing, and I appreciate it, and at the same time, I don't want you to, just because we appoint you.
I just want to
Okay.
say thank you for, working with us, and, and you guys have always been there, when we need to make some changes, and I know that our mission is the same, is the indigent care.
Right.
It's the poor, and the poor is, those that are underinsured and don't have no insurance, and, we can cut all we want, but, I mean, if we're gonna cut, we're not gonna help anybody, I mean, where's that gonna get us? I mean, now we're gonna have double trouble the following year, because there's more people that need the services, more people that are sick, so, I never, man, I can never see cutting some kind of services for those that really need it, and I just appreciate the fact that y'all understand that on your side.
And that's a good point, Commissioner, because all of these are somewhat interrelated in the big picture of the county healthcare needs. And if some of these programs don't continue to operate at the levels that they do operate, those folks may end up in the ER, and at the end of the day, we're gonna have to pick them up. So a lot of this is just preventive.
You
Well,
pay
and I-
now, you pay later
Right.
at the hospital, when they go to the hospital, and
Well,
that's what we don't,
right.
and that's what we don't want. So, but I think in the long run, I mean, whether we help 4 agencies, 5 agencies, 10, the better. And this is something that they're out there, this is their mission, to make sure they reach out to, to those that need the help. And we as a county or you as a hospital district, we don't have the staff, the means to do these things. So, actually, it's like an octopus, they're the tentacles of all the county, and they're out there trying to do all these things with the little money we give them. It's not a lot of money. $10,000 is not a lot of money. $20,000 is not a lot of money. But they try to do whatever they can with what we give them. So.
Well, it's better than
again,
zero money,
Right.
right?
So I want to thank you just for everything you guys are doing. Appreciate it.
Okay, thank you.
And I want to say too, y'all do a great job, because, you're in a lot better spot than, well, I don't want to say it that way, but you're in a really good spot because of the fact that y'all have been so prudent with your money and you have a lot in reserve. And so, y'all are going to have the ability, and you don't have lots and lots of staff like we do either, right? Yours are program generated, and so you're able to generate a lot of revenue without a lot of people expense like that we have. But y'all have been also very prudent with how you put your money in reserve, and you're going to be able to weather the storm way, way better than we are, because we've got so many people we're trying to take care of. And so, again, I don't disagree with anything Commissioner Gonzalez said either, but thank y'all for your partnership, and we appreciate it.
John, Mr. Hibbs, I also want to congratulate y'all for doing what y'all do for us. I know y'all do it in good faith to help the community, and we don't want the community to go do without if they need it, because we don't know how much worse they can get. Thank you.
I wanted to ask something before y'all left. So the AHEC, that's also part of cuts that we talked about making, right?
The which one?
The AHEC, right? Is that something, it's not something that was covered in last year's budget, so.
Correct.
Is that because
We
in
were gonna pick
response
them
to
up.
what we were talking about maybe cutting, or is this
No,
to
this,
supplement anything?
Commissioner, it's a new item that was not in the budget last year.
So where does it come
This
from?
program it's operated by the Health Science Center out of San Antonio.
Yeah, I know what
And
it
they,
is.
and
But
they,
what is it to fund?
they have clinical programs that they operate in the community, diabetes, education. There's several others of them, but the
So,
money
but this
intended
is
here is
not-
to go.
We all, I think, utilize them every year. So I'm just wondering, is this to supplement cuts that we are maybe proposing there, or that us collectively or individually have asked to maybe cut from our own budgets this year? I'm just trying to see, where are we cutting
That would be
and
a
where is that
question for
being
Dale.
covered?
Is this a new
is
line
this
item?
that?
So
It's
let
obviously
me-
a new
yes.
line item, that's what
Let
it
me answer
says.
this way. It's a new line item for us, but on them, they could end up using the money we fund them to backfill with y'all. If
So
y'all make
it's
reductions.
potential, right? You've heard us,
Potential, yes.
you've heard us either collectively or, that's what I'm trying to
Yeah.
figure out, is where some of these are coming in. That, not that I don't want it, and I totally appreciate it, I just want to make sure is, as we start going later on into this meeting, we're going to talk about potential cuts that we're going to have to sacrifice out of our own budget. So I want to make sure that's essential. That's been utilized by, I think, every commissioner and every judge this year and every year past. So that's all I'm just trying to figure out, is if it's kind of covering that
So
amount.
the AHEC money it's out there, but it's not designated for a particular purpose yet.
But it's coming to us for us to designate that purpose?
If you, no, we.
Is this one of those deals?
We will if you all don't.
Well, right, because, and I think where John's going with this, and I agree, and I didn't catch this, so thank you, Commissioner Myers. I saw it in both versions, but I didn't see that it was a new line item, because, that was one of the things that we had wanted to do, was, because they are crucial in these community health fairs that we do, that provide incredible health services to our community at a very reasonable cost. So if you're saying that this is a new line item that is coming to us, that we'll be able to use to give them that they haven't gotten before, then that'll help us on our outside agency cuts that we're gonna make. I think that's where John was kind of going, and again, good catch, because if that, or unless you're designating it for specific things, and we can't do that, I think we need to know that too, because that's I 100% agree, that's a very important agency for us. And the services that they provide directly to our constituents, like, that's something we would have to do. We have to provide these services.
Right, and this kind of came out of the fact that there's gonna be an expansion of healthcare delivery out in the Robstown area with the expansion of the clinic in the Calderon building, and now the mobile clinic is really fully up and running. There'll be more outreach into the rural areas, so we wanted to just supplement that. How y'all wanna, I mean, we don't know what y'all are doing in your budget, so that's why we have it in our budget. Yeah.
So Commissioners, I just want to close by saying, for your meeting on Wednesday, not to confuse what we presented today, but for your meeting on Wednesday, we asked Dale to include in your line item, there's an amount not to exceed that y'all are going to vote on for our budget. And we basically put the voter-approved rate in there because we don't know yet from this workshop and from our board meeting tomorrow if we're going to need to be doing more than 4% or less than 4%. So in your vote on Wednesday, the highest we could go would be the voter-approved rate. But what we did last year is we did the same thing. We gave you the voter-approved rate, and we came back and we were far less than that. But we were above the no new revenue rate, and that'll be the same thing this year if you go with version 2.
But our vote is Wednesday, and y'all's meeting is tomorrow. Wouldn't we know that before then?
Yes?
So
Yes.
that we could do, okay.
And Judge
We
and
would
Commissioners.
know what
I'll-
you're going to be
yeah.
asking for before
All we
our
do is
vote.
recommend a rate to you all, and we'll know that because the board has already received the versions like you all have, and they've been giving you the granular detail that goes behind them. And so at the end of the day, you all are the elected officials and y'all set the rate. All we can do is recommend one to you, and we can't set it. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you both.
Thank you.
Thank you, John.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, Dale, we'll turn it over to you now then.
Thank you, Your Honor. We went through a lot of cuts and a lot of discussion over the weekend. Myself, Lisa, Ida, and Teresa worked very hard all this weekend to come up with some numbers we have. Teresa provided you a list of some items we can go over in a little bit. I'd like to go over again, the values of the balances on tab K.
Tab K,
Tab K1 and K2. K1 is what we would do if we'd have the no new revenue tax. K2 is what would be the balances as of if we did the voter approved rate.
I gotta make sure I got the right one.
yeah.
Hang on.
Should have just received that this morning.
Okay.
And this is with your reductions
Yes.
that departments have turned in there.
That is
That's
correct.
the reason this number changed again.
That is correct, but
Yes.
also we have decided to add a little bit of balances from the 1115 waiver. We'll discuss that a little bit when we get to that level.
Okay.
But I kind of wanted to go through this items here for K1, K2, just to show you where we are for budget and then the difference between budget and what we assumed to projected of being spent and received. So K1 is your no new revenue tax and K2 is your voter approved tax. So let's go to K1.
Okay,
Your first column says budget item. I know this is what the court has to do. Y'all are the one that sets the budget. Y'all will adopt the budget. And the very top numbers is your budgeted balance, what we're projecting for 23, 24. As you see, we're projecting a budget of $111,754,932 of revenue. And we're projecting an expense of $128,608,713. That's a net decrease of $16,853,781, which if we were to do 100% of our budget, we would see that we would go from $27,800,000 to $10,946,000. Now, that is a significant amount when you talk about budget. But if you go to the next column, which we know, a lot of the budget item has information that we know we'll never spend. We have some contingent appropriations that, because of where we are in the location, because of storms, because of other items we might have, in areas, we put in a lot of contingency numbers that we know we'll never spend. So some of the budget that we have for expenses, we know we'll never spend.
Mike,
So,
so, go ahead, sorry. Go ahead, sorry. I'll let you finish your thought. My bad.
so if we go to the middle column, you will see where estimated receive and spent. So normally on if we go through our normal budget items and we go back the last 10 years, we've collected anywhere from 98 to 102% of our revenue. So we're assuming that we're going to collect 100% of our revenue for the budget. So we're still staying at the 111,754,932. Now, as I said, we have some contingencies in here for our expenses, as well as, we know we have vacancies throughout the year, so we never spend 100% of our budget. Normally, we're in anywhere from 87 to 92%. If we take 90%, that means that we've unexpended 10%. So if you think that as 118 million, 118,200,000, if you take 10% of that, that's $11 million reduction. So we're assuming we're going to spend about 89%, so we're at 105 million of that 115, or $13 million less. So if we assume that for the no new revenue tax, we will still be losing $3,842,857. Now, I'll take any questions you have before I go to the voter approved, if you have any questions.
Okay, so let me make sure I understand this. So you're saying there are things we know we're never gonna spend,
Correct.
okay? But we budget them anyway, why?
Well, normally we have the contingency evaluation in there because of where we are on the coast. We have hurricanes and we know we have a potential of some emergency situations we have. So we have a balance in our balance right now, $5 million contingency, because another issue is we still don't know what we're gonna do with our collective bargaining agreement, and we need to have some funds there to make sure if something does change, because right now there's no changes in the budget for the law enforcement. So we factor some items in those items. And we also put in a value in for our balances because of the dispute we have with our refineries. We've set aside $2 million because we know there's a possible loss of at least $2 million for there. So we have right about $7 million total of contingency in the budget for those particular issues.
When you say we budget, meaning that's a continual budgeted item
Yes,
of $7 million?
roughly, yes.
So if we just decided, as we're trying to work through all this, we're looking at all the different options, right? I don't like, and everybody's got different likes and dislikes, I don't like taking things on a one-time basis and putting them into the budget in general terms, because it's kicking the can down the road and we're gonna have to find it next year. Now, and I'm a conservative budgeter, but in the times we're in, one of the ways could be to reduce the budgeted amount of contingency. It's a roll of the dice, it's a risk. We might have to go right back up next year, but wouldn't that then, Dale, be something that could add, or not add to, take away from it, or am I not understanding that right?
Well, yeah, you're kind of, this is one item that can be cut, but if you really think of it this way, contingency of the balances we never expect to expend.
I understand.
So if we reduce the budget, we're not really reducing the actual expenses, we're just reducing the budget. So instead of being at 90% of your expenses, you'll be at 95%, because you reduced the budget, but.
Right.
So you really haven't changed the threshold other than just a reduction of budget.
Right, but budget versus actual, we go through that every time.
Yes, yes.
So we have to budget to 100% of revenue,
Correct.
100% expense.
Correct.
So it might not affect the actual, but it would affect the budget, and it would help us balance the budget a little more closely if we did that.
You can
I
do
mean, I
that,
get
but why we try to put some contingencies in there
I
is
get it.
there are some very strict rules in the local government code that we can never exceed the budget. And if you exceed the budget, you'd have to have an emergency situation to increase it. So there are some real strict guidelines we have to try to follow. So we try to, as your budget officer, working with the county, we try to prevent that.
And I get that, but I'm just making sure I understand it, because we're in kind of a desperate mode here. That is an option.
That is an option, yes.
That would reduce the budget deficit.
Correct.
Okay, I'm not saying it's a
That's
good
correct.
option or a
That's
bad
correct.
option, I'm just making sure, because it's
That is correct.
not something we've discussed in this courtroom yet that I can remember. So one option would be to reduce the contingency by an
Yes.
amount that the court's comfortable with, that would then reduce the budget deficit. I get it. It's
Yeah,
effect on the
that is
actuals.
correct. That is correct, yes.
All right. Go ahead. Thank you.
I have one.
Go ahead.
If we're trying to reduce the contingency, what is it, and I still don't, because I talked to Noah yesterday one more time, and he's on standby if I need to call him, but if we are 28% above for fund balance, and use 3 million from that fund balance to put us where we need to go, and we don't touch the contingency, I don't see a problem being that we're gonna use 3 million or even 4 million if we have to, but I think 3 million was a good number from our fund balance to be able to do what we need to do.
Well, that's a good question, and I'll make sure, no, you probably will agree with what I'm gonna tell you. I don't know if you recall, 3 or 4 years ago, we used about $3 or $4 million out of the fund balance for stuff we knew we were required to do. And when we went out for a bond issue at that same time, and one of our bonding issues lowered our rate. We went from a AA to AA negative, which increased our interest expense.
Yeah,
I'm just saying that could happen if you lower your
I know,
fund
but
balance.
we were below 21 at that time. We weren't at 25. We were below 21 at that time when that happened. And in fact, we were at 19 one time. when they
Right, but if
took
you
off-
lower 5 million, we'll be well below 25.
Yeah. when
He's,
they- when they-
percentage, you're saying
they went-
21 million, he's saying percentage. Y'all are talking two different things.
No,
He-
I'm
You're
talking
ta-
about, okay.
you're talking
as long
dollars,
as we leave 25 million in there?
yeah.
Right now, if we go to K4, if we do the no new revenue tax, we'd be at 21.4%.
What's wrong with that?
Right now, if you look at the second line, you'll see that we're estimating that we're gonna be right about 24.7, so not quite the 25%
Right now.
right now.
And meaning we're almost at 25%.
Almost.
With the projected 28 million.
Correct.
If we take 3 million out as he's projecting, then we're gonna drop well below 25% reserves.
Yes, it will be
Right.
closer to 23, which is 21%, yes.
And it's a one-time kick the can down the road deal, because then we gotta find it next year, because we're taking it out, and we gotta make it up next year, right?
And if y'all, because of where the caps are in now, when we did have that $3 million loss, it took us 5 years to make it up.
That was gonna be my next question. Yes.
Whereas
So
the
we're still not quite where we want to be, because we should be above 25%, we're still not quite there.
Whereas the contingency, if you, let's
Contingency
say,
doesn't, would not affect anything, so.
right, let's say you took that same $3 million that Commissioner Gonzalez is proposing from the contingency,
Yes.
and you didn't budget it, then that's a regularly budgeted item that we're just,
Doing away with, yes, that would have no effect of the total numbers, correct.
right, so
So that would be the.
even though I don't like it, it's still, to me, better, taking away the contingency is better than taking away the reserves, in my opinion. So,
It doesn't help your bottom line.
He's not saying about, he's about budget, so.
I'm talking
Yes.
budget. It does help your budget bottom line, yeah, it
Yes.
does. Doesn't help your actual,
Yes.
but it helps your budget,
That's correct, that's correct.
it does.
As Dale stated, there's a statute that once you adopt a budget, you cannot increase your budget unless there's a state of emergency for which prudent financial planning could not foresee.
Like a hurricane.
Well, a hurricane would be an example, but prudent financial planning could foresee that somebody's gonna go over their budget because something happens
But he
during
just-
the year whenever you cut
That's fine.
millions of dollars.
So I don't know. what
And
you-
so better to budget it and not need it than need it and not have it.
Okay. Sure.
It's always good to have it.
Yes, Commissioner, we can cut contingency, and that will really have no effect of your actual estimates, because all we'll do is just change the difference of what your expenses will from 85% to maybe 95%. So it won't really change your total estimated actual, just change your ratio. And we can do that, yes.
And it's not ideal, I'm aware of that, but I'm trying to figure out how we don't cut jobs. So I'm looking at anything I can do that's or that's dollars not related to jobs, if at all possible. So it's not great, no, I get it, but to me, it's way better than pulling out of the reserves. I just think that's a very dangerous
Well,
deal. So if you're looking for
but
3
those are
million.
those are two options, you
Right,
know, so-
I'm just trying to help you find something that what you're trying to accomplish too, but doesn't do it as a one-time thing.
Yeah, that's my only concern with, if we do reserves, as I mentioned, we did go down one value on one of our rating agencies because of that issue, and it costs us a little bit more in interest. So, if we go out for debt. Now, if we don't go out for debt, it doesn't mean anything. But if we always plan to go out for debt, these rating agencies see that you're estimating 25 and you're at 21, why'd you go down? And you tell them this, and they'll say, well, because of this, we're gonna lower your rate. But that's an issue, and we'll have to deal with that when that comes up. Now, if we go to K2. K2 looks at the same scenarios on budget to actual. Pardon me. As you see, because of a little additional revenue, little additional expense-wise, our net increase decrease is only 11 million instead of the 16 million, because we have a little bit more revenue because of the additional tax collection, of course. If we go to the same scenario basically on collections without any deductions, and we're still at 89% of your expenses, 100% of your revenue, with the balances we have for the cuts and with the additional items we'll be talking about in a little bit, we'll be at $585,000 above reserves, increase in reserves. If we choose that. Now, we can always do anything below this, and as you go down, those numbers will continue to decrease until it does get a negative. But in my best review of this, working with Teresa, Ida, and Lisa, going through this items, if we do choose the voter approved rate with the cuts we have in, with the additional revenue we're proposing, we foresee an increase in fund balance.
Okay. And where you show me,
What's the difference on both, either one?
Well, we're at a $3 million loss for a voter of no new revenue tax. We're at a $500,000 increase in reserve for voter approved, so we're talking about right at a $4 million increase. $4 million difference.
If we do the 3.5.
Yes.
Yes.
you're talking, and where's, I've lost you on your page because I was still looking back
So
on
if we go to go to K1, you'll see that if we do you look at the line that says net increase, decrease. If we choose if we choose voter approved, that's 3.8 million loss. And we go back to the next page, the same increase, decrease, we're at a $588,000 increase. So that will be around $4.5 million difference between the two.
And that's because of the reductions we have already put in
Yes.
from every
Now,
department.
all the reductions are in both. They're in both, yes.
Yes.
Yes. The only difference would be on the voter approved would be the additional revenue because of the taxes.
I just don't want anyone to assume that
Yes.
just because we raised the 3.5,
No, no.
that we had
The
no
cuts are still there. All the
deductions.
cuts are
Yes.
still there. All the adjustments that we'll be talking about are still there.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So you're talking about the line where it's 15.9 and 28 million?
If you look at the one that says, on the K1, you'll see the, very top, you'll see one that says net increase, decrease. For the budget, it's a negative 16,853. For the estimated, it's a negative 3,842. If you go to K2, you'll see the same thing. You'll see a net increase of 11 million for the budget if we do the voter approved, and 508,000 for the, if we do for the actual. So difference-wise between the two is right at $5 million.
But for budget, you're still showing,
3 million.
for budget on the voter, if you go to the voter approved, which is 3.5, you're still showing a deficit in the budget.
Yes.
Which you can't do.
We can be, because the way the budget works is revenue minus expense, and anything as your net increase and decrease is assuming you're taking it from reserves to be considered a balanced budget.
Right, but we don't want to take,
Well, for budget, that's, if you look at the history, that we've kind of always done anywhere from $9 to $10 million differences.
We'll always kick it down the road, that same thing.
but that's not kicking it down the road because we know that's, in other words, you're saying that's legal to do as long as we show that the actual is going to come out balanced?
Well, the way it's written in the law that you have to have a balanced budget. Balanced budget is your revenue minus your expenses. And if there's any difference in there, you assume that the rest is going to come out of your reserves for budget-wise. And that will be your balanced budget item, saying we expect if we were to spend 100% of our expenses and collect 100% of revenue, we would need this much out of reserves to balance the budget.
But because we're not going to spend 100% of our
Yes.
revenue,
Yes,
that's where it comes down to.
that's correct.
Right, which is, and that's where this sheet that y'all have given us all along has been confusing, because it always shows that we're budgeting a shortfall, and that we always, not always, but then most of the time we came back and did okay. But there was a year, that we didn't in the last 4, to where we ended up short when so something catastrophic happened or whatever the case may be, to where we didn't end up doing as well as we could. So So then if you go back to the contingency argument, that helps your budget, but then what does that do to your actual?
Nothing.
Nothing either?
Nothing. Because your contingencies are amounts we never, ever expect to spend. So if we always expended that balance, so then that would be an effect. If we reduce that because we're actually doing your actual. So it's the same situation if I give you, here's your balances in for supplies and you budgeted 42,000, but you only spent 20, I can cut 20 out of that and really not do anything other than reduce the budget.
But then, do these numbers have in, because, again, I just got it, so I'm trying to look, you don't have anything in this one for collective bargaining?
Yes, we do.
Oh, you do?
If you go to
Five?
K3,
Okay,
you go K3 for no new revenue. And you'll see here, change, the balances down here below are not in the budget, but they're part of the numbers we have, because so we have contingency for elected officials, department heads, regular staff, and then we have a projected, because we don't know the amount of, here what would be for collective bargaining of 423. Now, we already put something in the budget of 1.7 in case, because we know there's a contingency of what's going on with the amount we're currently paying now. So we put some available there in case this came up where we would have to pay an additional salary plus additional, what we call retention, even though it may not call retention, but.
That's part of the 7 that you're saying is in contingency.
That's correct.
Yes. So you take that 2 million out of there, you're down to 5 in contingency if you move forward. 1.7 plus 4, that's 2 million, give or take.
right, because it's been in this changes to expenses before, and now it's not in this one?
Well, we
Because-
went in and put it in this because we didn't know in fact, we can always take it out of the contingency and put it here as a change and then give it your discretion of whether you want to include that or not, but
We
during our
changed it
discussion, we thought this
because-
was an item that they'll probably be brought up and probably be there, so we put something in the budget just in case.
And the meeting is gonna be after we set our
Yeah,
budget, so we
the
put
meeting will
it
be after
there
the budget.
just in case, because our next collective bargaining meeting is afterwards.
That's
so
correct. The
Right.
You have to
18th
budget
or-
something,
or-
yes.
It's after the budget, yes.
Hold on. Trying to keep them straight. Maybe it was way back when it was in there for a larger number under.
It was 1.7.
1.7,
It's always
yes.
been
1.7,
1.7
yeah.
something.
Now it's not in here though, right?
It's
now-
already in
now part of your-
contingency.
It's now part of your contingency. It's
and
now part of that 5
that's
million.
7
Moves it
million.
from here to
Yeah,
contingency.
that's correct, yes.
And how much is the contingency budget total? I
Around 5.
thought you said 7.
Well, if you take, what's 1285?
I'm sorry,
What's 1285?
12.
Which is,
85 general administration.
Yeah, I'm trying to get there.
which is still nowhere near what they're asking for. So I mean, I don't know how that's gonna
Oh.
play out, so.
The contingency is exactly 5 million.
5 million.
And that
And
includes,
that's only an
That includes
increase
that
of,
1.7 for that, and then,
That-
yes.
the only thing that we've increased from last year's contingency is the 1.74
Potential.
million
salary.
for, million for collective bargaining.
Possible,
There's,
yeah.
yes.
okay, so let
So
me
it's
ask,
nothing above what we normally do for contingency, except for that 1.74 for collective bargaining.
okay, so Dale, as we sit here today, because again, we just got these and.
Yes.
And again, I understand why, I'm not complaining, this is a workshop, not a day that we have to vote. But because we have to vote on Wednesday on a rate, as we sit here today with, well, let me ask it first, how many departments and elected officials still have not submitted their suggested cuts?
5, and all of them are elected officials.
5?
Yes.
We're on from 20 to 5?
Yes.
Since Friday, that's awesome.
Yes.
Okay, so those 5, then we just need to tell them, whoever those 5 are, we're gonna cut their budgets in half? Is that what we're?
Let me go through, I'll tell
Cut
you
their
who they
budgets
are.
in half.
Just a little bit of a, kind of a joke. Just,
Okay, we got County Court Law 5, we have JP 1-2, got JP 5-1, we have Constable Precinct 1, Constable Precinct 3.
okay, so let's keep that in mind as we move
They show zero budget cuts.
Okay, so then, as we sit today, and again, I know these numbers changed, and I know Lisa's gonna, we're gonna, I get it, everybody's gotta say. How much more in cuts do you think we have to make today that haven't been submitted or recommended by the court, or whatever or you're unclear on, or whatever the case may be? And I know we got this list that we're fixing to go through, potentially to yes and no. dollar-wise, what's the number for no new revenue tax rate, and what's the number for voter approved? And then obviously, there's a number in between, right? The court doesn't have to go to 3.5.
Correct.
You just submitted the 2, and I
Yes,
get it,
yes,
that's
yes.
fine, because we haven't given you a scenario. So doing it in the way you've done it, how much more in cuts would this court need to make for no new revenue, and how much for voter approved?
Well, on the cuts, we've gone through every department's request, and working with the departments, we believe all the departments, except for the 5 we mentioned, have done their extreme level of cuts, and we don't believe that they can go much further than what they have. Now, there are potential balances that we have. We're proposing to bring in $1 million from the 1115 waiver because some of the software I'm installing this year is additional cost. So we're going to cover some of that, so we can bring in a little bit more of the 1115 waiver than the $1 million. But if we no new revenue tax, I don't see, even though if we put in those 5 departments and we cut them the best we can without destroying them, I still believe we'll be at anywhere from $3.4 to $3.5 million loss in the no new revenue tax. And if we do some additional cuts for the voter approved tax, we can probably be closer to $600,000 on the plus side. But again, we could definitely cut some of the contingencies if you want, but we want to make sure those balances are there.
No, my question is, as we sit today and ask what has been submitted, don't say if we do additional cuts, because I'm just trying to figure out what we need to do. So what would be your number on the no new tax rate and the voter approved? 3.4 million on no new
Loss.
taxes?
Loss.
So we'd have to make 3.4 million there.
If we want to get a zero balance, yes.
Okay. And
Or
then
we
the
go
no-
down to 25 in our fund balance. Yes,
Yeah,
okay,
or-
3.4.
Yeah.
And then what about the voter approved? How much more in cuts?
For voter approved, we really don't, if we do the voter approved rate as is, we don't need any additional cuts because we're already above we're already showing an increase in reserves.
So as we sit today, based on all the budget cuts submitted by different departments and this court, not voted on, but submitted, if this court decided to go to the 3.5% increase on taxes, we don't have to make any more cuts. If this court wants to go to no new tax, it's 3.4 million more in cuts, or somewhere in between
Yes,
if the
yes.
court didn't want to go all the way to the top.
Correct.
So that is a significant achievement,
Yes,
right?
yes.
It's not good.
No.
Because it's not good, but it's that for the people who have helped do this, and I want to name the 5 who haven't again, but for the people who have helped, the department heads and the elected officials, a huge thank you, because this has been a terrible process for us all to go through. To this court, we've all made collective suggestions. We haven't agreed on all of them yet, but we've agreed on a lot of them. Thank you to the staff, the auditor staff, the court admin, everybody who's worked on this. All of y'all, thank you, because this is a completely unpleasant process to have to go through. But from where we started, this is great progress and very much appreciated. So again, can you list again for the 5 elected officials who haven't, please submitted their cuts, because we're going to hope that they're going to give us, at least one more shot at it, so that, because we can't make everybody else do it and they don't get to do some. I mean, that's not fair. So, I mean, some of it's going to have to shift depending on what the court decides to do, and there's going to have to be, so who are the ones that need to be?
I'm looking at tab L. If you go to tab L3, you'll see that County Court Law 5 has so far 0 cuts to the department.
Okay,
If you go to L4, you'll see that JP 1-2 has $0 on the cuts.
JP what?
JP 1-2.
JP1, hold on, JP12, Court 5.
And the JP 5-2 has $0 shown so far in the cuts.
Okay,
Constable Precinct 1 currently shows 0.
wait, I gotta catch up, hold on, Constable.
And Constable Precinct 3. Those are the only ones we show that elected officials that are currently showing a $0 cuts.
Okay, so County Court at Law 5, JP 1-2, JP 5-2,
5-2.
and Constables 1 and 3.
3, that's correct.
Okay, so, again, I would ask, unless the court disagrees, that once again, you reach out to these 5 elected officials and send them one last email
Yes, we will.
that says, if you don't give us some suggestions,
We will.
we have to.
Yes.
And
I did talk to a couple of the JPs. I'm not sure which ones these are. I know a couple of them had increases with taking over the truancy. I did talk to them about at least cutting their travel, but I think we were cutting everybody's travel pretty much other than basic or
We're just
something.
asking for everybody to submit something. If you're not
Yes.
submitting anything,
Yes.
that's just not right.
Yeah.
So,
I
most of them are not doing
submitted,
truancy.
5-2 requested that, our office submit on their behalf, and I did. If you look at their budget request, it's where budget officer changed to request. They requested the auditor to make the
You should have still put the department.
reductions on their behalf, and I put it in.
5-2, according to what we did, 5-2 actually submitted, we just put in the wrong column.
Oh, okay, so
Wait,
they
who?
have done
5-2,
theirs.
yes.
But which
5-2
one?
needs to-
JP?
JP 5-2, so
That's
5-2 is
correct.
the.
So there's 4 left.
Yes, 4 left. yes.
Okay, so take off JP 5-2 as corrected by the auditor's office. So it's County Court 5, JP 1, 2, Constable 1 and 3.
Correct.
Okay, so,
Teresa, you want to say something? You can sit down if you want to sit down.
I wanted to just say that, so with the increase in the fund balance on the 3.5%, the cuts or the decisions list that y'all have to go through today would just increase that fund balance. Anything that you cut from this point is gonna increase that 586 if we do the 3.5%.
Or
Yeah, well,
reduce the
that's
loss,
it.
or
That's
reduce the
it.
loss on, if you do no revenue.
Or reduce the loss on the no new
that's,
revenue.
yeah, that's if you're gonna go to 3.5.
Right, either or.
And then the reclassifications, let's go back to that one. That, I know, again, Judge pointed that out last time, those were all done prior, I think, prior to, or a lot of them were done prior to the budget blowing up. None of those reclassifications are in here for consideration, right?
You have a list, and Teresa will provide you this. We've got some suggestions of, we know we have one new position because the ME's person's coming from ARPA into the general fund, but we're deleting an ME from there, so the net effect is almost zero, because we're taking away the chief and bringing in the deputy, because you're gonna promote the other one to the medical examiner, so it's confusing there, but there are some that have said, for example, juvenile probation has decided they'll eliminate one position, and some of that loss that they're taking can consolidate a little bit of reclassification. It's still a deduction. And that's the only one we saw. The rest are, here's some ones, and most of these are vacant positions. These are what they're pursuing, that they'll freeze for an entire year. And these are the number that they'll delete, I believe, on K3. You have that at the bottom, so we have 23 frozen positions. If they stay frozen the entire year, we'll save the county $1 million. There's 14 positions that they're proposing to be deleted, and we can go over those. That's a $1 million reduction. Juvenile has gracefully transferred 3 of their employees from the general fund to Fund 28, and that will save $181. Now, the limited reclassifications, there is only $2,890, and we can go through that number as well. And that's what the directions will be if we so choose to go that direction.
Excuse me, Mr. Flores. Come up. You got a question for us. So what Dale just got through saying, I'm just gonna clarify this. Those positions that you have, are you transferring them to under the state, right?
Yes,
So really, they're gonna be totally under the umbrella of the state?
yes, Commissioner, we, this last session, we being the field, the juvenile justice field around the state, were fortunate enough to receive extra state aid from the legislature. So this basically would be, using those monies to
Appreciate
transfer
that.
over.
Thank you very much
Yes,
for
sir.
doing it.
I did also, and I know we've all been working up different plans, and I don't think Dale has the latest. The latest is we're not going forward with any reclasses, just so you know.
Okay?
Okay.
I haven't received that, so.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Yep.
Thank you, sir.
So some small reclassification can be adjusted when we take out the ones for the juvenile balances. I've got some small reclassifications, but most of mine are reductions. Some of the other ones that are shown there are definitely reductions in the saving the county funds. So I did include some reclassifications, but most of the ones I included were a reduction. And when I take the ones out for juvenile, they'll probably show that being a negative. But as we see, we have close to 40 positions either being frozen or deleted from the county, saving the county $2.1 million. Possible. If the court goes, if it agrees with that. And I know Teresa got a good list of what we included, and she shows you which ones were part of the vacancy list and which ones were not, which would be a reduction in force, and there was some for that, so.
Do we have a copy of that? Yes. I know I saw it in my email, but I didn't print it, Teresa, sorry. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Teresa. So on the list that Teresa provided, showing that these are the balances we're showing for what was considered to be, the departments have requested them to be frozen for the entire year. As hers is showing 986, so there's a little difference because she's showing 22 positions, I'm showing 24. So there's a few employees that maybe not wasn't on the vacancy list that was still to be frozen because they're either in the process of being because the person's going to retire and they're going to make the position frozen. So as you see, the ones that are deleted, you should see there's 13 positions there. Several of the items we've shown here is what are being requested. And if you look at the ones that are actually considered a reduction in force, there's a couple from IT, a couple from records imaging, one from Hilltop, and then there's the ones I talked about. We're changing the medical examiner from a deputy chief to a deputy, and then we'll, whenever you all decide the pay schedule for the current medical examiner, then the current deputy chief will be, if that's who y'all choose, of course, would be the one to take over that position. So this would be the net savings that we're talking about on K 3 and 4, 3 and 5, I mean.
Wait, hold on. Is this the one you just handed us, the vacant positions? I'm
Yes.
trying to stay
This is
calm.
these are the frozen positions that were vacant. There was only one or two that was not vacant, but these were, we want to make sure these are the positions that we're showing vacancies, so we can show you there's really, if we do these frozen or deleted, even though we're reducing staff or freezing staff, it doesn't affect the person that's in there other than the 5 or 6 at the bottom.
The reduction in force at the bottom, the
Yes.
IT and records management, that's all Daryl's department, both of
Yeah,
those, right?
yes.
And he is willing to,
Well, the information he provided to us had, they didn't show vacancies, and they showed, these could be
oh, they
positions
were
they have
open
that are retiring.
positions. Okay, yeah, I think there was one that
Yes.
was retiring and open, okay. I just saw 4 from
Yeah,
him.
yeah.
I thought that,
and these could be the ones that are retiring, so these are gonna retire,
Yes.
so I can put these in as deleted, so.
okay.
But that came from them, and then I believe the same thing with what Edward, I think, is gonna get rid of the part-time position. I believe that person's also in the process of resigning or retiring. But Edward, you might be the one to fix on that.
I don't know if this is the time or the place or what, but I had just been informed, there were 4 people in records management that were under the county judge, under mine.
I don't know anybody under the records management would be yours.
There's 4, and Teresa says it's statutorily, I'm the department head of that. Records,
Congratulations.
warehouse, records, something.
Congratulations.
My name
That's not
was
records.
on it, and I was surprised, so I would like it. I think we're looking into it. I think it goes with IT, but I didn't know why it went with the county judge. And Teresa said, did you
It's just
tell
the way
Peyton
we
it
have- we have
was
several
a
records-
statutory requirement or something?
There are different ones. We have one for the county clerk, one for the district clerk, one for the journal error, and then one's considered a 1304, which is total, so we can definitely put that under record, under IT, so.
Well, I was just,
Yeah.
I was shocked, so I would like to know if, who,
It was just,
think
it
I
was
have
just
Peyton
probably, it was
checking
one of
on
those
it,
things that's
yes.
been done a long time ago and hadn't been changed.
okay.
Are
I think
those folks
Peyton
still
will
working
get
there?
with y'all. She's looking for it and looking for the individuals as
Yeah, I
well.
have a couple of questions.
Okay?
the opiate funds, are they here anywhere that are gonna be utilized or?
They're going
For
into
one,
No, I don't know if Teresa has it on her list, pardon me. But just so y'all might be, know this, we currently have a member in intensive care at Driscoll Children's Hospital. And it's gonna be a very expensive cost, which, as y'all know, we have we have to pay $425,000 of every claim. We know this cost is gonna be in excess of $1 million. So, we know that's gonna come in, so it could be that this is gonna cause our self-insurance fund to be in a deficit. Some of the funds for the opioid balances can be used for that. We expected to use 400 of the 429,000, so that we're gonna leave $29,000 in there if we need to buff up the health insurance fund. Otherwise, those funds can be used for anything that the county attorney says is a legitimate cost for those funds, but.
But
we
let's
were-
be clear, that is not if we need to, when you
We
know you
will.
already have that
Yes.
one case and
Yes.
we have
We have
others. We
multiples.
are
We have
going to be
multiples, yes.
short in our health insurance
Yes.
funds, so.
and this is why I'm asking a question. We should know this ahead of time, that there's, give us something to say, we got this 400,000, but there are a couple of cases that are pending,
Yeah.
and it's gonna be over so much, so that money will be utilized. So we don't go back and start counting his money and start saying, well, we can split it.
Well,
Because I
Commissioner,
call the county attorney.
we're a lot like you. Sometimes we're not informed of these larger claims until they happen. So we will try to keep you abreast or updated as much as we can, but sometimes we're restricted to what we can say because of HIPAA.
HIPAA laws too.
I understand that, but you don't give names, I mean, just.
Yeah.
let me know. The other question that I have, and I should have asked it before, but this is on page D4 that I found last time. I don't know if it's still D4 or not, but
Yeah.
it says general fund revenue summary, interest and investment income. And you have an actual of, estimated actual of $4,013,780. But what happened to where's the interest in that?
That is the interest.
That is, the whole thing's interest?
Yeah.
Is that the interest supposed to be, or are we missing some interest?
That's all interest that we received from all the funds we have in our account based on estimated what we believe we're gonna collect.
By the end of the year.
So really, is that, I don't know, is that the total amount of interest, or do we collect it?
No, we expect to collect.
Have to collect?
We expect to
Expect.
collect.
Expect to collect.
Yes.
So it wouldn't be more than 4 million,
It could be more than 4 million.
because we don't know exactly.
We have to estimate the balances in May we have to the last few years, since the last 2 months. So as you know, the Federal Reserve just increased the rate by 0.5. So right now, we've been told from our investment people that I have and the Treasury has, that our Texas class is at 5.7% interest. And we've just invested at 6.2% interest. So some of those balances will generate more, and most likely we'll probably collect a little bit more than 4, but I can't say for exactly how much more than that.
So when we will know,
September 30th.
September 30th?
Yes.
So that could also give us a little boost, right?
Good.
So we need to probably keep a track of that.
Now, it also depends on how fast we spend some of the money down, because as y'all may know, ARPA funds that are in the balance in the funds, as we're spending them down, every bit of interest according to the rules, we can give that to the general fund.
Yeah.
And now it's been about $200,000 every quarter.
You can give it to the general,
Yes. But as we spend it down, that'll go down.
Can you speak in the mic? I think they're saying they can't hear you. In your microphone, yeah. Thank you.
testing one. You hear me? I got the mic almost in my mouth. Maybe it's your volume. I don't know. Okay, well, anyway, I just need to make sure.
So
on
yeah,
that one
that interest will probably be more than what we're showing there, but I really can't give you a good, reasonable expectation of what that will be, but at least 4 million.
Okay, at least, but again, could be more.
It could be.
Well, it probably should be more, probably, but anyway. All right, if we can just keep us abreast of that, because that might be something we might want to go back to and say, you know what, we still got, another million. We still got 500,000 that we might be able to use, so I'm just, again, it's another source.
This 4 million that he's estimating in, though, is already in our budget
Right.
plan,
Yes.
the money,
Yes.
so,
Right.
yes, okay.
But there could be another
That's not gonna be
500,000
additional, yes,
or a
okay,
million, yeah.
okay.
Right. Okay, thank you very much.
So as Teresa said, she provided these 2024, 23, 24 proposed budget, whether this is to be included or cut. We can kind of go through this, and this kind of gives an idea of how much more we can either reduce from the balances or increase from the balances. Most likely, these are reductions, if I remember what Teresa and I had said. As you see on number 5, we did include a transfer from the 1115 waiver, the amount of 1 million to cover a lot of the software increases that I have, what IT has, because the one from my office, the next year will definitely be able to reduce it in the following year by at least $500,000. So we're at least saying this 1 year, we'll do a one-time $1 million additional transfer from 1115 waiver to cover that, because we have to do two platforms at the same time.
All 5 of these are software
Yes.
for everyone, all the
Yes.
different departments that have
Yes.
software, yes.
And also, Teresa said on number 6, because we do have a 1042, which is a sale of asset. I don't know if y'all recall, because this was a long time ago. We did buy the fairground property. When we sold the property to the outlet mall, we had to maintain those funds in a special account in the fairgrounds because of restrictions, because of the debt.
Where are you now? I'm sorry, Dale.
Number
6,
6.
sorry.
6 on the report from Teresa.
What page is that?
Okay, so are we supposed to give you kind of yeses and nos on this stuff?
Page one, it looks like this.
Teresa just passed
Right, are we
out.
supposed to give you kind of yeses and nos, or how are you, because I'm not hearing that yet.
Well, we were just, we're just right now, just doing in general, we'll kind of go through, and Teresa will kind of go through why we're proposing this, and at that time, we can say whether y'all are in agreement with this or disagreement with this, and that way we know from my staff and Teresa and Ida what additional either cuts we can make, and what other additional balance we want to make. For the only reason I said was number 5 is, and I'm pretty sure this is a yes from y'all, is we're transferring $1 million from the 1150 waiver fund, which can be used for the software that my office has, that Human Resources has, IT, and well as the constable, case management, as well as social services, to cover their software for 1 year, because mine requires us to use two at the same time until around January, then we can continue one. So in 24, 25, we can reduce our budget by $500,000 or more.
Okay, but so tell me why we're doing the whole million instead of just, we have a double pay this year?
No, it's because of all of these. There's software that the auditor needs, Human Resources has a software, their deal for part of Workday. IT has a software agreement, the Constable Case Management and Social Services, all this year have softwares that we're gonna be in
The
addition
first year,
to
yeah.
their, yes, for
Yes.
the first part of Workday, in addition to their budgets.
So why are we suggesting,
That
Because-
was after the meeting with our court management and the auditor's office came up with this, using
Now,
this
we
1
can
million
we can
from the
definitely reduce that
1115.
amount, but we think it would be best if we transferred $1 million of that to cover some of this, but we can reduce that to $500,000, or we can reduce it down to.
okay, but what I'm asking is like, what I thought was, this is what I'm asking, is what I thought it was we're having to pay a double pay this year between
That
your
is-
software and the other software.
Correct.
Right, so it's,
They already have the 450 in his budget
I
from
get
last year,
it,
the
so
annual
I'm
thing.
asking why it's not just 600, because
Oh.
the rest of this is,
We can do that, we can do like 600, we
well,
can.
because if it's a one-time, well, it should actually be the 450, because the 450 is what's gonna go away next year, because if we put more, this again is the kicking the can down the road argument, if we supplement something that's a one-time thing, okay, I'm down with that. If we supplement something that's not more than a one-time thing, which the rest of these are not one-time things, the rest of these are ongoing. So I'm trying to figure out why the number isn't 450, because my understanding is that double pay is the 450 and the 600. Next year, yours is still gonna be 600, but the 450 is gonna go away. So, I mean, not next year, 24, 25.
Correct.
So I think the 450 is an adequate number, but not for everybody, not for all of these people that we're gonna have to fund later.
We can definitely do it to 450 if that's the direction of the court. We definitely do that.
450 for your
Yes,
additional
yeah.
payment, not these other ones that because otherwise we're gonna have to find this money next year. Right? I mean,
Yes.
if that's not right, tell me.
Correct, that's correct.
So
Are
to
all
me,
of
that,
these continual then,
Yeah.
or
All of
just?
these for the social services, for human resources and IT, basically IT goes up every year.
and I know the constable one is,
Yes.
you know, that was the
That's
big.
continuation, yes.
Because he wanted more and we had to stop on that one because we had ARPA funds.
Really,
But
the only deduction then is the 450 from the 632?
450 from the extra that we're having to pay double this year for the transition.
Right.
So to me, that number should be 450
We'll make that 450.
because that's only a one-time deal and then it goes away.
Is that the consensus of court, 450?
I don't know. I'm just saying that's.
Where's my buzzer? I've never been a part of a budget process
That you
where
do
I
this,
gotta
yeah.
press a yes or a no, like right here after getting this
Right.
information. This is unacceptable. I mean, this is no way, a budget is about what our priorities are for the year. And to be able to give us a few minutes to absorb this, I'm on other sheets still trying to absorb this information. This is so, I mean, if we're pressed to, I guess I will
I don't
put
think
down
this
yes or no.
was- yes.
But this, I mean, there's a lot of things I mean, I don't think the public or any of our employees would want us to hastily come up with an answer for this checklist. I
We can do
mean,
it- we can do it
this
again
is
tomorrow
just,
or next day. I mean, I'm with you, John.
I mean,
I'm
I'm
just trying
willing to
to
be
react the
here
best I
all
can.
day if we need to, but to come in and just to say, we're already on item 5, I mean, I must have been asleep, or I guess I was,
That's why I went
think I was
back.
looking at other
why I went
packages,
back. I
but
was like, how do we get to
let's
5?
start at the beginning. I mean, I mean, I know you presented, we talked about no new revenue, voter approve, but we haven't, I don't think we gave any feedback and.
Nope.
So, and then car allowance, the collective bargaining agreement, I mean, these are all important, so I see why you prioritize them 1 through 3, but let's really talk about each of these, because, I mean, these are some big items. I mean, one alone is gonna tell us where we go with this, so can we get a consensus there? I mean, I know you're trying to get
Yes.
where we're at, but let's start off on 1, and then the public will know, the media will know, our employees will know how much, if any, cuts do we need to make on this? So can we start off on 1? That's important to me,
Yes.
that we talk about tax revenue, we talk about either prior year you have on there, no new, or voter approved. So, okay,
Yes.
can we do that?
Yes.
Please, thank you. So do you want us just to verbally, or do you want us to put this down on paper, or how do you?
Well, for actually number 1, there's not really a yes or no response because we're just showing you, here's the prior year adopted rate, which is 0.291659. If we were to approve the voter approved rate, that's 0.240253.
That's the no new revenue.
That's the no
No
new
new
revenue.
Sorry, no new revenue. That's around a 5-cent decrease in tax rate. The voter approved, which is 3.5% rate, is 0.252755. That's around a 3.5, 4%, 4-cent balances. Now, for Wednesday, when we bring the proposed value, we will bring in what we're going to propose as a rate for the county and as well as for the hospital district. What we suggest as a proposed rate does not mean that's what the rate will be adopted. That means that's the rate that we have to either publish public hearings, public notices, and you cannot exceed that rate when you go for the election, but you can always go less than. So as Johnny was mentioning for the hospital district, which is not here, sorry, but that they gave you the rate 0.089, I believe, but it's around there. But that I'm not going to give you the total amount. As Johnny was saying, that they're going to propose the rate to the court as their vote approved, and as your budget officer, I feel I need to propose the rate as the vote approved rate, which is 0.252788, which will bring in a little more than $3.5 million of additional revenue. And if we do the budget cuts we have, we project a possible increase in reserves. That amount is yet to be determined.
Which means if we wanted to project for this year, not an increase in reserves or a smaller increase in reserves, you could go below that rate if
That's
the court
correct.
so chose. That
That's
would be
correct.
another area to look at.
That's correct.
So,
So that's what, the tax revenue balances show you, basically the rate is, here's what we're gonna propose, and again, when we go to the proposed rate, y'all can, it is a record vote that each of you will have to vote either yea or nay for the rate, and I will be proposing a rate at that time, y'all can say either yes or no at that time, and then we can go through the process of, this is what we wanna propose, but as your budget officer, I will probably be proposing the voter approved rate to where, so we can go there, so we can always go down from that level. So we try to either break even on our reserves or have little of the impact that we can, but that's what number one is, so there's really no yes or no on any of that. Now, as you know, we're in discussion with number two, with our collective bargaining agreement with the Sheriff's Office Association and the Constable's Office Association. However, that meeting won't be till after you adopt the budget. So, right now, there's around 300 to 305 employees within the Sheriff's Office if you do the entire staff. Now, that's not what's currently hired, that's what's currently budgeted. Again, we go from budget to actual, so we got budgeted at 305, I believe, right now, last time I counted, they were at 220, or around that, because they have anywhere from 90 to 85 to 90 vacancies, so. We're trying to determine what the court wants to do in offering the officers a increase or not. That's y'all's decision, of course. Right now, this $340,000, I put in a proposed balance of, if we chose to increase the Sheriff's Office Association 2%, it'd be right around $340,000. If you go a little bit higher at 2.5%, that would be closer to $450, not $550, $450,000. So we need to, right now, we're not proposing any increase in the budget that we have so far, other than what I showed you on K1 or K2 of 423, and that's 2.5%. So I went a little bit higher on this because knowing what I've had in the past, 2% is not a very high number for them, and will they so choose or not? So I know this is a discussion area that we'll be having with the collective bargaining agreement, is people that y'all have on our side, and we'll be working with the court as well. And whether the Sheriff's Office Association agrees, we'll have to determine that. And then already in the budget, we proposed what we want to continue saying retention pay, even though some people don't want to call it retention. But I'm not retention at the same amount as we currently have. I cut that in half. And that's already in the budget of 1.7, as we discussed earlier. So right now, if we want to put this in the budget, we can increase the budget from the general fund by $340,000, with the expectation of this maybe a little higher, a little bit lower, based on our agreement from the Sheriff's Office.
so if we say yes to this, then that means the numbers that you just gave us a while ago go up.
Well, no, I've already
This
put
is
in
already in there.
423.
But you're saying,
If you look at K3, I've already put in, I'm proposing 423 so I actually estimate a little bit more. So it's already here, it's already shown in your budget numbers I showed you already, so.
This is part of collective bargaining. I'm not sure that we should be talking about either one of these things in here. I am like, why are we talking about this?
We should be prepared, because right now, if we.
I know
we
it's
have
on
to put
our
something in the
list and
budget,
we have to put things in
I
the
think
budget.
we just need to skip this
but-
one. I think we just need to
Yes.
skip the whole collective bargaining issue right now, because.
It's already
yeah.
out, but.
Well, no, but nothing's out because we have not agreed to anything on this.
Correct.
I don't see how we're gonna do anything, what you're talking about with collective bargaining.
Discuss it.
Okay, The magic of-
Glad I wasn't the only one.
I don't know.
Now, the next item, we have, let me see how many employees we currently have. We have 122 employees currently receive a car allowance. Several of them are some of the larger departments have multiple people within their departments that have car allowance. The district attorney has several, has at least 15 or 20. The county attorney has several in their departments. The ME's got several in their department. Social services is the same. So we're just trying to say, what does the court want to do? Commissioner Chesney, you just sent us information about your reduction. We'll put that in. You decided, you'll say you're willing to take half of your car allowance, and we appreciate that deduction.
I'll take more. Yeah, I'm just trying to get to my number too, so
Yeah.
if I'm not there yet, let me know.
That's a good point. You had just sent us the information, and one or two others have put in also additional balances. I reduced mine by half, and I reduced hers completely, but by 21. Well, she reduced it from the governmental affairs. I think she do hers as the entire amount too. So we've had 3 so far of the 122. So this is a discretion of do we want to ask these individuals? This would mean a pay cut. If we reduce a car allowance, it means they will receive less in income. But car allowance is a option of the court, not of the person.
What if we excluded all electeds and,
You know, Judge,
What
sometimes
we
you
have-
can't touch the electeds, you know.
yeah, because
they're
you can't
called-
touch the election,
saying.
so
can, they're
what
called.
if we excluded
Yeah,
them?
At everybody's car allowance, you can't do that?
But the elected official, that's up to between you and the elected official, but the other employees that are under them, the county attorney, the district attorney, the county judge, and each of y'all have your own assistant, gets a little bit of car allowance, not much. Same thing for some of the other departments, their assistant gets small amounts. But there's, almost all of our elected officials do get a car allowance.
This is a county attorney question on that item. I mean, is that something that we cannot touch? Is that something that would have to be conferred by the elected official? Jenny or Cisco or whoever else can chime in. Because if that's the case, then elected official could propose any budget they want, and we can't touch it because they're an elected official. I mean, I get,
On their
like,
own,
we
but
don't
not their
go and tell them.
employees, yeah.
We don't
Their
go and tell them what
Not
to
their
do, but.
employees.
I believe that's a business decision. We
Right.
don't have anything that says you can't
Right.
touch that. That's a business and political issue for the court.
Well, I think we set the salaries for the elected officials too.
That's
I
correct.
think.
You
Yeah.
said the salaries as well as the car allowances and any other allowance that you have for each elected official. And I don't know if that's the direction of the court or what they want to do, but
And does that impact the elected official? I mean, I know overall income, and I know a lot travel,
I cut my
but
travel,
does that impact their salary or retirement? I mean, I know some qualify already for retirement.
allowance does not go to salary. And the car allowance does not go to your pension.
Your pension, okay. That's an important question. Okay, thank you.
Well, and I think too, you know, as we're continuing to talk about these collective cuts, right? So we're up here in the same boat as a lot of the two-person departments. It's kind of hard to find, right? So what we've, I think, looked at collectively is where we can cut our budgets that make significant impact. You know, I mean, sure, I submitted my travel, I cut that. I've got an assistant bank, you know, less hours, I've cut that. I didn't cut her, I just hired someone at less hours and took away that position. I was able to cut car allowance, that kind of thing. But collectively, as a court, we've already, you know, put forth, you know, whether it's the fire marshal freezing and one court administration position. And we're looking at all the budgets of all the departments very closely. And I'm still looking at all the departments that we have, and I haven't put everything out there yet that I'm going to, you know, put out. I've just made some suggestions to Dale that aren't on the list yet, and that's okay, because I'm still, you know, seeing how that plays out. Because
Cut 3 from emergency management, we've cut the PIO, we've cut all
Right,
kinds
we've-
of things.
Yeah, we've cut all
as
these,
a-
you know,
yeah.
these departments that report to
Teresa, I think, wants to
us, and
remind us.
we're continuing to look at that, and I think there's still some more that we can do too, and we're gonna do them.
This is just, I'm sorry, Commissioner,
Pardon?
I'm sorry.
No, you're okay, go ahead.
This is just in regards to the car allowance for the elected officials. I'm not sure what we're gonna do, but the salary letters for the elected officials will go out Friday. So
This
if we're
Friday?
not gonna cut, then I just need to know if the amounts will stay the same. If you intend to cut, then I need to know what we're doing so that I can make sure we have the correct amount in those letters.
No, just so you know, Commissioners, as we've done in the past, now you can always keep the budget there, and it's up to you if you want to provide an affidavit to us on possible reductions. So Commissioner, you can say, well, let's leave the budget there, but I'll submit an affidavit to reduce half your travel allowance. You can do that. And then you tell us how long that reduction is. And any elected official can do that as well.
I did that for 7 years, the first
Yeah.
7 years.
But we have to have one every year.
Yeah, I gotta renew it.
Yeah.
Now, you may want to consider, and Dale, this is a question, if there's not a car allowance, then how will mileage compare to that? Do you have a, because there will be a need for some reimbursements, created by that.
Well, the mileage rate is the current mileage we have, I believe it's 54 cents per mile. I can't remember if that's true. Or whatever the federal rate is, we pay the federal rate?
No,
Whatever the federal rate is.
no, we don't pay the federal rate.
Anymore?
No,
We used to.
I understand that the federal rate went up and we did not.
Okay, well, whatever y'all decide, we're below the federal rate, but we're,
But if you
that
look at this amount,
mileage.
it's
It's
not
a-
that much savings and a half of the reduction either.
yeah, currently our total balance for all of car allowances is about $320,000. If we cut in half, it's about 150 reduction.
Well, right,
But-
I'm not cutting my car allowance and then gonna go submit mileage, and I drive all over this county,
Yeah.
probably as much as anybody besides
Yeah.
Judge Scott. But, that's not how, I'm just not gonna submit the mileage, I'm just gonna eat it, that's just gonna be on me, and
Yes.
I'm not saying that should be what everybody has to do, I'm just saying that's a personal choice. That's just my personal choice, I don't know where we go on car allowances at this point, cause it's a nightmare to have to keep mileage, believe me. If you drive 10 miles and you gotta keep a log and you gotta show where you're going and you gotta do all that, I get it, it's nightmarish too, and.
Well, now, Commissioner, on those that actually have a car allowance, if you drive within the county, you cannot submit mileage claims.
Oh, there you go. Well, there you go, Jenny.
Okay.
That answers that. Okay, well, I wouldn't go into it anyway.
Because we're already paying your car allowance, even though it might be reduction, it's still a car allowance.
My suggestion is to still, I know it's just a suggestion, is to leave the electeds and let them decide on their own, just like you did your own. I haven't taken a car allowance. I've signed the affidavit, whatever, to not take anything, but I think that's up to the elected. If you were talking about there's some people that do more driving. I think it's gonna have to be on a case by case. You cut everybody just randomly, there are people that do drive, there are some people that don't, or do they really all need to drive, or do we have any extra vehicles here that,
Can't get what we need now.
yeah, exactly.
I'm not saying I won't take a cut, but, just for example, yesterday, I went to, Banquete to go inspect the cemetery that we're working on. And, I went to, Hazel Basemore to inspect, see how our construction's coming along. So I do get out there in the county and drive and inspect my areas. But I'm not saying that I'm not gonna take a cut. I'm just saying that I do go out there and I have a larger and a bigger area than anybody else. And it stayed at the same budget. My budget did not increase, okay? And I got a larger county, area to cover.
Mileage.
But I'm not gonna do mileage either, so, I'm just saying, for me, I do go out and inspect my areas, even if it's on weekends. Thank you.
Okay, then moving on.
I think that's kind of a political issue.
Yeah.
Let the campaigns talk about it. We can all justify where we go and how much we do. That's for the individual elected to justify. But how can we know what the actual cost or savings is gonna be until they actually get to the point of waiving is my concern. And I think we need to know that before, we direct Teresa to send out that information. I guess we could wait another week or so before you send them out, is that right? Or, see, you need to know now,
Yes.
so,
Yes.
we're just talking kind of hypothetical and let's leave it up. We gotta say either yes or no, and I know we don't wanna offend a lot of elected officials, but if that's what we're gonna do, and I feel comfortable in doing that, we all run around day and night, weekends, whenever, and that goes for a lot of electeds. We see them everywhere as well throughout the county, so it's not just exclusive to us, but then let's make that call. But if not, then let's give those buzzers yes or no to all the electeds, all the department heads, and then let them make that call, so then we know exactly what that dollar amount is. But we're spinning our wheels here. I know it's hard to make decisions, but we gotta say yes or no. And if we say no, then you're gonna get tired of I'm just kidding, no. You're gonna have some elected officials not gonna be happy about it, but if we leave it optional, I worry that how much savings are we gonna actually find? right? I think we should know, either yes or no, let's go half, and then we have a real number to work off of. And then we move on to the next item, but that, leaving it up is a worry to me. That's a concern. It's just, it's arbitrary, and then, everyone could justify it. Everyone can. I mean, it's not like anyone's running anymore. Commissioner Hernandez mentioned he runs around a lot. He has the most county miles, in the county as far as representing, compared to any of the other commissioners. I used to have that designation until we redrew our lines about a year and a half ago. So, but it doesn't mean you're not running back and forth to the furthest spot in your precinct and to the courthouse and on points in between. So there's quite a bit that's going on. But I'm fine with saying today, let's make a half deduction for all, departments. And I want to make sure, I've heard there's even reports that some have vehicles and some have car allowances. I don't know how accurate that is. Do we know?
That is accurate. We're auditing those now.
So, it's just that one or the other, right? I'm fine with that, so, all right. So do we have a direction, or do we need to give you yes or no on that? Like I said, I'm willing to say yes, at least on the half. And if department heads want to come in and make adjustments to their budgets and give us some direction as far as, no, there's more savings that we have found, then all, more power to them.
Dale,
Yes.
those that have vehicles, do they also have a P card for gas?
The P card is not used for gasoline. The gasoline has got their own fuel card that for each vehicle is not on the P card. And the P card, the gas card is assigned to the vehicle, not to the person.
Okay.
So if the person is driving the car, that card that is assigned to the car, they can't use it for that. So we're constantly working with purchasing, working with ourselves, working with the divisions to try to identify those that are doing this. And at that point in time, we'll have to reach out to those departments saying this needs to stop. And if we need if possible, request possible refund if that's the direction of the court.
Very good, thank you.
Commissioner Modis, so are you stating half for the department heads and elected officials will remain at the current level?
Ooh, I don't know, that's tough.
No, I'd say half across the
You're
board.
saying half across the board?
If you represent a
Okay.
department,
Just wanna
whether you're
make sure.
elected or appointed, I'm saying across the board.
Okay.
Now, I'm throwing that out there for
Right.
discussion, right? Because we need to give you some
That's-
direction.
That's the direction we need.
We need to
Yes,
give direction.
Yes.
So that's my gut reaction right now. If I have to press the buzzer, yes or no, I would say at least half of the car allowance. And then we can weigh in, and I will support what the consensus of this court is. It impacts all of us, but, hey, we got to make cuts, and we got to set the example. So I'd love to hear from the rest of the court as far as what they think and why or why not. I'm already getting messages on my phone and.
I already cut mine as well and have for some time, so I agree with that. I just have a problem because I had some electeds come to my office and it is part of theirs and they do quite a bit of driving and really asked me to leave that alone. They cut in other areas in their own budget cuts, so they had asked personally if we would leave it. I'm fine with whatever the court wishes as well. I just wanted to state that the electeds that came to me said they made the cuts elsewhere on their budget cuts. Yes.
We all have, at one point, this court has all signed a letter deferring pay increases when everyone across the board is given a 3% or whatever percent, and it has to be applied to everyone. That's the legal opinion we've been given from the county attorney's office. So we've all signed that letter at one point, and most of us for multiple years, in consecutive years, and so I get it. I feel like I've made some concessions on funding that I have available to me that I know maybe other departments don't, but I'm trying to help the greater good. So I get it. Using that funding that I could put to precinct projects and putting in it to fix our roof. I'm hoping that's helping the bigger picture, but I don't know. That's a tough one. But like I said, I'm just throwing it out there. If the rest of the court feels like, no, we don't need to cut the elected officials, and if those electeds can justify it in their budget, I'm fine with that. But
We could,
I
we could
just
just
think we
freeze
need
it.
to-
You could
need to
freeze it,
figure it
not
out.
cut it, so it could come back next year, and that's not one that would be a hard one to find, I think, to come back. Because, I mean, I think it does, I mean, I think if you're gonna do it, you can't just do it for department heads and not elected officials, or not elected officials and department heads, but you don't have to eliminate it, or you don't have to permanently eliminate it, you could just freeze it and then bring it back.
Well, that's what Teresa will say, because we, by law, we have to report out to each of the elected official, here's your salaries, here your supplemental pay, as well as car allowances, and that's saying this is what we agree to pay you.
That's right.
Whether now you're saying it's frozen, well, when we have to say then they don't have it.
That's correct.
Right, for this
Because
next
it's the
year, but then.
salary, it's a salary allowance, it's not like the travel, which is a separate line item.
Right, but you can suspend half a car allowance, just like you can suspend anything else, and then you can bring it back for next year, and then the letter goes out that says you're getting it back.
And
Yeah.
it's a, well,
Yeah, because that's
but
what
it's
I
a
always
part of their
did.
salary, though.
Yeah, when I did it, it
So-
was half.
I don't know how you freeze it if it's a part of their salary each.
You don't
pay
freeze,
period.
you don't freeze it. You can go into a special revenue fund to use for the county, for county projects. The other half you use. I mean, if you're gonna do half,
But then that's actually reducing their car allowance.
right, but
I mean,
for the year,
For
but it could
that-
be for 1 year.
But that
That's
doesn't
reducing
reduce the budget then, if it goes back
No.
into the county,
does
it
not.
doesn't, yeah.
There's no savings to the budget if you're moving it to use someplace
What are we
else.
talking
And only the commissioners can have that option, no one else has it.
No other one has, nobody else has that option. I'm fine with doing it across the board. I like being fair. I'm just saying I had a couple that did contact me and said they made the cuts elsewhere because they didn't want to have that, so.
See, and that's the
Now,
problem,
Judge, we
'cause they
want a
may have
direction
done
of,
that.
if we do,
Yeah.
we need to make sure, we can't say we're gonna do, if you wanna do it, we wanna do everyone, because, if we do somewhere, these are full, these are not full, then it makes confusion, and then someone come back and, why'd you do this, no, I not do this, so we would like a direction of, like the commissioner was saying, if we do half to everyone, then we do half to everyone this year, and we'll bring it back next year. Whatever the court wants to direct us to do.
So, I
Any
mean,
other comments?
I mean, I think of the clerk's office, the county clerk, I think of the tax assessor collector. Every year, they come in with a lean budget, every year. And I see how it could be unfair. It's like, okay, we'll do it again, and they're not gonna complain, but it's like, some departments, and I know there's others, but I'm thinking of them specifically because they're either waiving their pay increase or they're doing more with less. And that's a concern, because you're right, I mean, there are sacrifices, and so there's some that have made greater sacrifices to their budget over the years than others, and then we get to the spot and we just say uniformly. I'm just trying to be fair, right? That's why I'm not trying to nitpick and say only certain people and not. I think probably legally, that's probably the better way to do it as well. But that's why I'm saying, is just so the public can hear what we're thinking, what our mindset is on this, and that at least for us, or at least for me, that I'm not looking at trying to preserve my own budget and my own interests, rather than to say, hey, let's all collectively do it. So that's the whole reason for really wanting to start this discussion on the car allowance, is let's see, where do we feel? Are we all or nothing? And like I said, I will support either way, but just thinking of those two offices particularly that have done a lot with less, and so, I know y'all come up, huh?
And I will say, just with the car allowance, we need to look at it as really the wear and tear on our vehicles. I don't know about other offices and departments, but especially during the election time, I'm driving around looking for locations all weekend long, new locations. During the elections, early voting, every day, driving around the county, location to location to location, and we have 6 elections this year coming up. And again, whatever y'all want, but just so y'all know that it's not like there's millions of dollars being for car allowance, because we do drive around and get the same wear and tear, and we don't have a vehicle that department heads get. So,
Is the travel not on here? The travels, or did we already take away that, or what are?
Well, the other thing we haven't really spent much time on is some of the suggestions have been floating around. We're talking, this is 150 grand we're talking about.
Yeah.
We haven't talked about some of the consolidation of departments, some of the things that could be huge huge savings. We haven't
Yes.
talked about other things like that. I'm not trying to get off this, but I don't want to spend an hour and a half on car allowances because everybody gets a little bothered about that, and I understand it, right? I'm not saying it's a bad thing or not, but I'm saying, but part of what we've been trying to do is not, we're trying to take away money that's not going to take away people. And I get that's only $150,000, but $150,000 is 3 people, right? So if we take away $150,000 in car allowances, that's about 3 people that we can save somewhere else. Now, and we've argued that with dues and subscriptions and outside agency funds. So that's been my argument all along, is anywhere we can cut dollars that aren't people, that's a good thing. Like, I don't see the 3-year cycle of and I know Joe didn't agree with it, but we threw in the 3-year, everybody doesn't get the 3-year, that's not in here, that I've seen, and that's a couple $100,000, that's $220,000 worth of savings if everyone just doesn't get their, which I don't even think we ought to have this policy, but I'm not going there right now. But if everybody says we're gonna, and Dale said it, we need to take away one cycle of it to be fair, like
Yes.
John's talks about fair and equity. If we're gonna do that, well, that's $220,000 a year for the next 3 years.
Actually,
Rough-
more, Commissioner, this year is the smallest year.
Oh, okay.
And the largest year anywhere, probably the largest year is about 500,000.
Right, so I mean, you're
So
talking
you're
about
talking
some.
about almost $1 million if you do 3 years.
Yes, and it stinks, but raises are not letting people go. Again, it's the same concept. You're foregoing a raise, which nobody wants to do, but look, we're in a tough time. I don't think anybody ought to get a raise this year. I'm sorry. I mean, we're having to cut I don't want to cut people to give someone else a raise. So that should be on the table to discuss. It's not in here. We don't have consolidation of services in here because we haven't been able to come to a consensus yet. And so Dale hadn't put it in there. I'm not saying Dale's done anything wrong, but those are the kind of things that we're talking about. Big dollars, not, and every dollar adds up. So where are those things? Do we want to discuss those? They're sensitive. I get it. You talk about consolidating a department. Ooh, man, you're talking about people not being in that department anymore, but there's 201 vacancies. We haven't talked about how many vacancies we can just eliminate and cut across the board that could save us a lot of money right off the chutes. We have 201 vacancies according to Dale. We could sit here now and say, let's cut 40 vacancies. And what does that equate to? I mean, and I don't know which 40 they are, because then you're going to get into the departments going, wait, don't cut mine. And I get it. And so what we would hope for was that the department heads, and maybe they have, Dale, I don't know. We haven't analyzed all the by individual cuts. Maybe some of them have put those vacancies in there. Well, there's more vacancies. We could look at that, and that doesn't take people away. If we're trying to save people, then we want to save people. Vacancies aren't people. I get that they're positions, they're important positions, and we need them, but they're not people and not getting rid of people. Car allowance isn't people. Dues aren't people. Outside agencies not people. We want to save people. We've got ways to do that and move some of the people that we consolidate departments into other vacancies that we haven't cut. Maybe it's not the most ideal position for them at the moment, but it's at the moment. If we consolidate, and I'll throw the one out there that we've thrown out there that I get is sensitive, we consolidate veteran services and social services, and you have to move some of those people from social services into other departments. Well, guess what? Things might be better next year, and we might be able to move them back in to those departments next year if things are better. So I think we've got to keep thinking outside the box and be creative and try to save all the people we can, but reduce force where we need to, and we don't need positions. There's still positions I don't think we need to have. There's positions around us that I don't think we need to have that I haven't even put out there because I'm still trying to figure out where to go with some of that. But I mean, if you're wanting consensus, I think we ought to look at some of that kind of stuff too and put it on the table and make some decisions. And it's hard and they suck and they affect people. But if we can figure out where to move those people temporarily, if they so choose, until we can figure out what to do with that, then those are legitimate cuts without cutting people. And so I don't know. But none of that's on this list of what you want consensus for. So how do we get them on the list? I don't know.
All right, so we'll go to the next item. I believe
That went nowhere.
Yeah.
Sorry. Okay.
It's like,
I tried.
okay.
I'll just make motions later.
we'll come to that later.
No, I mean, we can just make motions when it's time to vote. This is just,
Really,
just where I'm
Commissioner,
gonna go,
I
and if it
prefer it just to
doesn't
be
pass, it doesn't pass.
a discussion, say yes, yes, but not necessarily a motion, because it's almost like you're voting on the budget already, so I don't, maybe a motion's not the right say, it's, like Commissioner Mata saying, he's saying this would be right, and y'all agree, and when we know the agreement of the staff, and we bring it later on for actual vote, then we know that y'all decide, so I don't know that necessarily need a motion or a vote on it, but that's y'all's decision.
But I agree. Look, I mean, in my 6 previous budgets, it's always come down to the last day, and there are gonna be a flurry of motions to keep, delete, modify positions in parts of this budget. So if you want direction, I think Commissioner Chesney
That's all we're asking for is direction.
almost choked on my gum. I have to agree with a lot of what you said. And I don't know how that happened. I didn't have my coffee today. But I agree. I mean, if we want to do everything we can to save, maybe everything that we have tried to use as extra benefits over the years maybe has to just be eliminated for one, if it means saving every single person. That's a priority to me, is saving every single person that has a job. Now, vacancies, that's another thing. I hate to think that there's gonna be probably several occasions of situations where we find the departments are going to be just stuck in a season of losing positions and not be able to fill them, and then, oh, no, you're stuck. You're gonna have to be like that for the next year. There's ramifications to what we decide, but I would lean towards, if we need to make some decisions on budget cuts, that means saving as many positions as we can, right? Especially those who are employees who come in every day, who just trying to be able to provide for their families. I would want to make sure that we save those spots first. And I did want to give you all, I mean, like I said, I do feel that this is helpful, this list, maybe not the amount of time that we have to review it, but like jumping down just a couple of spots to item number 6, the fairgrounds, that's being brought up as far as sale of assets. That's to actually ask if we want to move in that direction and see an actual savings. Is that what that means?
Those savings are there.
Well,
Okay, of not
It's a money, not- yes.
operating.
Right, correct.
Is that what it is?
Well, what it is,
You don't have to go
the
into-
funds for, when we sold the property to the outlet mall, we were required by law, because of this was bond issued funds, to maintain these funds in the fairgrounds for assets and repairs to the fairgrounds. So we're saying there's $1.1 million available there for whatever you want to do capital-wise, including building another building.
The records management, possibly to put
That's
that
right.
money
That's
towards.
right. Part of
But
the
there's a
conversation.
restriction on some of the property around there. If you sell
Yes,
anything in the future, then you also have to keep this in mind. It
They were
depends.
bought by.
So it's kind of like the next item, Road District 4 funding, where they could only be applied to that area?
It has to fit road areas within the Road District 4 boundaries.
Right. And
Yes.
so that's the same thing here, Denny?
But it should be,
That's the opinion from your office?
yeah, but it should also just be one-time projects.
One time, yes.
One-time projects, so it's
Yes,
not
one time, yes.
continual.
Yes.
Right, that
Right,
needs to
right,
be the
no, I
caveat.
got
Yeah,
that
no, I
part,
mean,
right.
just,
One-time project, yes.
But I'm just trying to get, just so I understand, and if anybody's following along at home, that these kind of apply to that. How could they, right? But
get that man some gum.
I swallowed it, man. I swallowed it. I agree with Chesney. I don't know.
There's a
know
first
how
for
that
everything.
I'm just, like I said, I'm just trying to talk this through so I can hear it, so I can process it myself. So I just wanted, because for years, we've had that Road District 4 funding, and it's only applied to the coastal or to that district that was created.
The Road District 4 district,
Decades.
which mostly is
Decades
precinct
ago.
4, mostly is precinct 4,
Let me tell you
yes.
about,
Yes,
I always been against the way County Road 4 funds are used. But the fact is, you're supposed to use those funds, really, Commissioner, on a road that actually boundaries County Road 4, or something that touches County Road 4. We use the money for other reasons, outside of that, to build other things, other roads probably, which is okay, because we needed funds. But those funds were restricted at one point. they can only use for boroughs that actually merge with County Road 4.
Right.
For Road
For us,
District 4,
County
we
Road
receive
4.
about $100,000 each year in revenue, in rental revenue from it.
Road District
But
4.
And that's
Commissioner
all I'm
Chapman
asking,
needs
is,
it,
does
we'll
this
let him have
apply
it.
the same?
No,
way?
Road District 4.
Road District 4.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so does it, Jenny, does that?
I'm fine with that.
I'm just trying to get some clarity here on the, on item 6 and 7 on the, proposed budget decisions.
So
So
what
the
is your, what
assets
is your
of-
question?
The assets of the fairgrounds applies in the same way that Road District 4 funds apply, so it's gonna be geographically based and only be able to apply to those specific areas, is that
If it
right?
touches those roads is what I am told,
Right.
but this is not an issue that I've looked at in order to answer this
I'm
question.
sorry,
So I
yeah.
can't answer that on the
Yeah.
fly. I can
Right.
certainly do the research and pull it up.
Yeah.
And it's just gotta be, there's gotta be a project that fits it too. I mean, I don't even know,
The
'cause,
restricted funds.
Yeah.
yeah, most of
Yes.
the road work
Yeah.
is not in Road District 4 in this
Right.
county, because I don't have as many county roads as y'all do, because most of my area is within the city, so that's what makes it hard to spend those funds, because it's on Road District 4.
And I think maybe that's what the judge was talking about, a little bit about, as far as the records warehouse, is that if we can shift some of that money around, I guess that's where I'm going to,
Yes,
right? If we
yes.
can
To
move
somewhere else,
money that it only applies to a certain part of the county, but if it frees up budget or capacity in another part of the
Yes.
budget, I'm good with that.
Basically, this funds can be used for anything within the boundaries of the fairgrounds with we have a large area of property there, that these funds can be used for capital expenses within that. So if we say we're gonna build a records warehouse retention facility at the fairgrounds, these can cover this, and we won't need funds from anywhere else.
They can help
If we
cover
need
it.
Except on
Yeah.
additional funds might
That's
need
if we
them.
even need it, yeah.
If we need it, yes,
Right, if we need.
yes.
The
Or they had to be
nu-
used for the other-
Item number
yes.
8, you were talking about the right-of-way text dot agreements. That is the money that is in the fund that they can send us an invoice whenever they purchase property that in the middle of the year, like this past year, they sent us an invoice for some property that, our portion that we had to pay. We were allowed to pay it out for 5 years, but we only had the first 2 years of money in the account to pay. We were gonna have to add money eventually. And preparing for this in the future in case they decide to purchase more and send us an invoice.
You never
that
know
we
when
just have to
TxDOT's
pay.
gonna send us a bill for,
Exactly.
because of I-69 or roadway 77, or if they plan on building another bridge to the island,
Yeah.
they're gonna need right away, and this is where the funds come from. Right now, there's $400,000 to $500,000 in the fund. As the judge said, TxDOT did send us a bill, $105,000, but then they said they didn't need the property, so they gave it back.
It was actually, the original bill was like
Yeah, it
600
was-
or
yeah,
800,000, and we have the right to pay it out in 5 years,
yeah.
which was the only thing that was gonna save us.
Yeah.
Because there wasn't enough money in the fund to pay it, yes.
Going back to that, what's the lease, is it a month-to-month lease on that records warehouse?
Right now, it's a month-to-month,
Month
yes.
to month.
Okay, so if we went in and said, okay, there's some, like, there might be even some space out there, I mean, we got a lot of space out there that doesn't get used all the time. Would we even need to build something new, or could we just rehab something that's out there now and use that for a records warehouse and save that money? Because,
We have the
There
land,
isn't.
we have the
no,
land.
I'm saying meaning like within the building, I know that's not
Right
ideal,
now,
but.
the main issue, when that may become an issue, is when you do the livestock show rodeo. Junior Livestock Show Rodeo use the entire facility, and that's one time when Edward, he has some stuff stored there at sometimes, he has to come and take it out because they use it all, they use the entire facility.
So let me ask Edward, I mean, that's a one-time-a-year thing, and it's a big deal, I get it, and we don't want to do anything to hurt, but again, we're looking for everything we can, so do we have space out there that we could say, all right, we're gonna use some of these, because this is a good idea, that some of these assets to rehab, not rehab, but, repurpose, that's the number I'm looking, rename, could we repurpose some area out there to use for a record warehouse space, and then either A, eliminate the lease completely, or B, pay ourselves half of that, meaning, to offset some of the lost revenue that we might have, but we're still gonna save 100 and something thousand a year. I'm just curious, because 100,000 a year.
200,000.
Right, but I'm saying, let's say we paid ourselves 100 of the 200, then we'd save 100, that'd be something.
The only area that's available right now, Commissioner, is the Exhibit Hall A. So that's the air-conditioned large wing We could detail it for that. We would probably move the barns and the show barn and try to reduce the show, because like you said, that's the one big portion that actually happens. That's the only heated and cooling barn that
The
has
show is
positive-
done in that Exhibit A as well, so
Yes.
you're taking away the whole show portion thing. I
So it's
mean,
done in the main area
What if
and
we,
shown?
but is there an area out there that,
Yeah.
that isn't, that we could, like, enclose, let's say, that's not being utilized as much, or, I don't.
We would have to reduce the size of the show. We could.
How many times a
definitely.
year do you use the whole space like that?
That is
Or any
used
other events?
primarily by the gun show, is one of the big users of that. The other is the,
Country Peddlers,
Country
does that
Peddler,
use
those
the
are the
whole
big- that
building,
big
like
area.
the livestock, I'm similar to the livestock show.
So, well, here's the
Exactly.
deal. We know we lose money on that facility every year, okay?
Yep.
So how do we help ourselves by getting rid of a $202,000, $200,000 a year lease, and use that space, and maybe we pay ourselves some of it or something? Let's be let's be creative. Go back, I'm not saying you have to answer me today. Go back and look at it and just see, or any other county facility. Doesn't just have to be that place. It could be any other county facility that we're underutilizing that we could rehab, and you know most of them because Inland Park, you got most all of them, right? You and Juan ought
Yes.
to be able to sit down and say, just like we're doing with bringing the others over from the RTA lease building, it's the same thing. How can we repurpose something that we currently own? And it doesn't really matter where the record warehouse, it can be Robstown, Bishop, Banquetti, it doesn't really matter. Wherever we got a space that we could repurpose,
It's
use some of these,
60,000
I'm sorry, for these
square foot.
assets, so we have to use fairgrounds.
We have to
assets.
use fairgrounds, 60, our records is
Okay.
like, it needs to be 60,000 square foot.
Okay, so I don't know. So, I mean,
Yeah.
We can-
or it could be 230s, it could be 320s. It doesn't have to all be in one place. All the stuff we have in there, we've said for years, we need to purge a
We do
lot of it.
need.
We've got stuff in there we don't need. You know, that's the
Very
big part
much
of it
that.
is, we can start, what do you call it, digitalizing it. You know, sit down with Daryl, he's shaking his head yes, so maybe he agrees with me today too. That's meant I'm on a roll. So, I mean, you know, it's,
And
just
the
don't
other
give
thing
Daryl
is
any
is
gum.
Since it's
but-
a barn, we can also go up, so.
Second story
Second
would
story
be a
was-
So, yeah,
lot
just go-
cheaper as well.
go
to
come up with a
do
plan.
Going up.
Come up with a plan on that, and let's make that work. Sorry, go ahead.
Edward, what about the old show barn? Is there any space there or any land that we can utilize?
The old show barn is currently licensed to the Robstown ISD, so they're using that for their animals. They take care of it, pay for all the utilities, and it's really not a,
Yeah,
I would
well,
say,
Okay.
they put some roof on it, but I wouldn't put stuff in there because it needs to be air conditioned.
Yeah.
That's where the biggest failing is
It's
there.
gotta be
There's no
climate
air
control.
conditioning.
You mean because it doesn't have air conditioning, not because the roof is good? Because I put money
No,
directly
no,
to the
no.
roof, didn't
I
I,
didn't
Juan?
say there was anything wrong with the
Okay,
roof. I'm
okay,
just saying
okay.
that there's
All right.
no
Just making
air
sure.
conditioning into the facility.
Yeah, we directed money to that roof, and so it's,
But keeping in mind,
weatherized.
this money here has to be used at the Robstown Fairgrounds
Fairgrounds, yes.
building if we want to utilize this 1.1 million, yes.
The other thing is, could offset 1 year? I mean, I know Commissioner Chesney's against offsetting for a year, but you could offset the transfer in for about a year, correct?
No, well, no, because you're talking about operations, this has only be used for capital.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I'm okay with the 1 year offset. I'm just not okay with something that's gonna go on and on and on. So, but if you're saying it has to be just capital, but that's,
1.1 million has to be a capital expense, whether it's a new building, refurbish a building, or do something at fairgrounds. But Edward's saying we could, right now, we transfer $1 million to fairgrounds, $100,000 to the stadium. We would maybe reduce the $1 million to the fairgrounds, but this cannot be used for operations.
Idea.
okay, good idea.
Good thought.
But yeah, come back with something pretty quick if you can, right? If,
You can
'cause-
always,
right?
you can always consider the
That would be a
JP3 building too, right there on Leopard.
well, but you can't use the money you can't use the money.
No, but put the JP office in the Hilltop. You know, when we.
Oh,
do
you're
the
saying
Hilltop.
something separate than this?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, Hilltop's gonna be nice. They might wanna go over there.
That's an idea.
You know, you never, that's a good area. I mean,
Except for you can't use this money over there to renovate the JP office to get it for a records management is the only other problem.
And
At
I
the
don't
old town.
believe it's 60,000 square feet.
Yeah, not at all. It would have to be redone. Yeah.
We don't own the whole parking lot, the whole area there? I mean, the building plus the area?
The building plus the area, I don't know if
At
that's.
the JP?
At the JP.
JP3?
Yeah. It's just this 1 million can't be used over there on that JP building. It has to be used at the fairgrounds.
Fairgrounds.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
okay, so
Well, I'm just-
you're-
I'm just
we would
talk-
have to come up with the money to
Yeah, I'm
do
just talking
that
about,
too.
I'm just talking about
Yes.
future assets.
Yes.
That we can
yes,
sell,
Yes,
you
okay.
know? Yeah. And bring in some revenues. Okay. Whatever.
Now, Judge, going back to, like you said, number 8, the right-of-way, we have $400,000 there. You never know when the state's gonna send us a bill of, because by law, we're required to purchase the right-of-ways for these roadways. We never know, and majority of the funds do come from the general fund if we have additional funds, but right now, there's around $400,000 there. So, I don't know if we need additional $100,000 now, but this would be wait till we start getting bills from from TxDOT, but as you said, they can send a bill pretty quickly saying we need this much money in 4 or 5 years, and we have to come up with it.
I think we can probably wait a year at least.
Yes.
And readdress this next year with a better budget.
Yes, I agree. And like the Commissioner was saying on number 7, the right-of-way funds, I don't know if there's any roadways currently working on in precinct 4 or road district 4 that this would justify this year. And it has to be in road district 4 property,
Or adjacent to.
or right adjacent to it, yes. So I believe number 7 is probably a no as well.
Unless Juan knows of some projects, he's shaking his head no. Not at this time.
Scott Cross has some projects.
Is Scott on?
That's what he mentioned to me,
No.
that he had 3 road projects.
So maybe for
For
the
Road District 4.
0180, but not the 0120?
So these decisions that we're making on this list here, if we, they're not included if we did the 3.5 increase that puts us out in a positive at the end, or some of these are because the 1115 waiver doesn't affect it. Some of these are minimal amounts, and
That's correct. Any additional guidance that you give us, we can put in the proposed so that this notebook that we keep reprinting for you becomes more and more accurate.
but with the departments that have already cut, and these numbers that we have, other than these in red here, these are already included in this and are.
I don't believe that any of these
No, they're
items
not.
are already
Okay, so this is
included.
all- This will be increasing then, yes, because I thought the law enforcement stuff was included in this from before.
Just for
Just
just
for
for that
the
one
other,
area
yeah.
for if we do a
And we don't
retention.
want to talk
so,
about
yeah.
that anymore because we're not
Yeah.
really supposed to be
Yes.
talking about that. So I was just clarifying.
So the ones items that Teresa put in there for your outside agency funds, currently, each commissioner and the judge each receive $20,000 each year, and that's still in the budget, so that can be a discussion of, and Commissioner was saying about possibly reducing some of the outside agencies, but that's a decision y'all all have to make. So right now, these $20,000 have not been taken out, they're still in the budget, so the direction of what the court wants to do.
I think that'll be taken out. I think, again, I think,
Yours or
no,
all?
I think everybody's gonna be taken out for 1 year. That saves people again. It's dollars that save people. This whole, that's the whole theme that I'm looking for, is where can we cut dollars that don't cut people?
I don't agree.
I understand. I understand there may not be consensus on that, but this is one I think we ought to all do it and all do it. It's $100,000. I mean, $100,000 is 3 people. That's,
Well, 3 people, you don't work for the county.
do what? What?
How can it be 3 people?
100,000?
$50,000.
That's 3 $30,000 people plus benefits, or 2.5, however you want to.
About 2.5, yeah.
2.5 people, 2.5 people.
Yeah.
Well,
We shouldn't be paying nobody that low. So,
well, okay, but I mean, It's 2.5 people, so it's 2.5 $35,000 people.
Yeah. That's the
However you wanna do
problem.
it.
We pay them low, and they wanna take it away from them.
How are we taking it away?
Well, you wanna take off the contingency, you wanna take everything
No, the
else away.
contingency is,
You
that's,
know, the 3 years, you wanna take everything away,
that,
I mean,
That's why people are not applying for the job openings.
okay. I mean, don't do it then. Then we gotta cut people. I don't know what to do. I'm trying not to cut people.
Commissioner, you know, I don't think we're going to cut anything, realistically. You know, I don't think we should be threatening people that we're gonna cut people. I think we should just go along with the punches, and I think there's the money's there, you know, and we saw some of that earlier. So we just gotta, I don't care, we kick the can 3 times down the road, let's kick it, you know? If it's gonna save people, let's kick it. I mean, you talk about saving people, let's use what we got. I mean,
That's
you
what we're
know,
doing.
well,
This
no,
is
we're
not people. This
No,
is dollars for
no,
outside
okay.
agency that don't.
Then you got money in your fund balance, you got money in your contingency, let's use it.
We've already suggested that. But he's asking for this particular category, and I think if we're gonna all do it, we all ought to do it. I mean, I'm gonna do it, whether the court does it or not doesn't,
Okay,
do
that's
it,
fine.
because, but I think the court, I think we all ought to be in this together, and we ought to do it for 1 year, and if you don't, that's
I gotta
okay.
take care of
That's-
I
that's
gotta take
okay.
care of my people, man, and yours too. Yours too, so.
So since these funds are discretionary between each court
You can
member,
each say
maybe
yes or
y'all
no.
can just send us an email to delete the entire amount, delete a certain amount, or don't touch it. That way we'll know whether to take it out, put it
Tell
in.
you right now, don't touch it.
Okay. That's
Well,
fine,
no,
Commissioner.
but that's not, I'm gonna make that motion at some point. If it fails, it fails. But I don't, and if there's not a consensus, I think we're either all in this together or we're not. And I think it's, I mean, you know, like I say, I'm still gonna do it whether the court doesn't do it, and I'll figure out a way to help them anyway. But I think we all ought to do this, but, and that's okay if you don't. I mean, I don't agree with everything you say. You don't agree with everything I say. I mean, there's nothing, I love you.
I love you too, man.
I know you do.
I love you, your bum.
I know. Sometimes you just don't agree.
So if we're not gonna make any decisions today, why are we spinning our wheels?
Yes, right.
I mean, I think we got our homework. We need to send it off to Dale, Teresa, Ida. Y'all will know where we're at. And then, I mean, I don't mind sharing this with the media or whoever. I mean, you wanna see what our priorities are. I mean, overall, I feel that there's some cuts that can be made. We do or should have at least some sort of, special revenue money. Most, if not all of us do, right, Teresa? I mean, it's just a matter of, there's money there that we can reposition, and I've already stated publicly, look, it may sound bad, but in the end, I don't mind repurposing money I have to ensure that there's still gonna be outside agency funding. Now, whether
Agreed.
we call it that or not, those agencies that we support throughout the year, I'm still committed, I still have funding to support that. And I think, but I think this is a practice and also showing, once again, the public our priorities. And if we're not willing to make cuts here, what's the use of having balances somewhere else if we're not gonna apply them to actual savings this year? So that's kind of my mindset with this. So I agree with what Commissioner Gonzalez is saying, is like, hey, these impact real people because these are supporting important groups, and we all agree it, we all give all that money every year to each of these groups. But I do feel if that does save some positions, right, because we just gotta repurpose money, then I'm all about repurposing. So that's what I'd like to make sure that goes on record, and that's what I'm gonna do when I provide you all this, is hopefully some of that direction, because I do agree, we do need to be consensus on this, one way or the other. We can't nitpick 20,000 here or there. We gotta go all or nothing, and that's what I'm saying. We're just gonna throw out a flurry of motions at the end, because we're gonna be stuck on this for quite a while.
May I address the court? I didn't know exactly what the process was going to be today. I know there was a lot of talk at the end of last week wanting either department heads or elected officials or those designated to come and deal with this budget crisis. And so for our office, we just need decisions. And so at this point, I don't know if I'm offering myself up, but and in our department, but I'd rather you just look at our proposal and let me know what you're thinking. Let me tell you why we've done what we've done. And then at least you have the information to make your decisions, whether it's right now or whether it's later on. because we just can't live in limbo anymore. It's too hard. And so I would rather just get this over with, quite honestly. I'm usually not nervous standing in front of a court. It's what I do every single day, but my heart is pounding because I realize that there are a lot of people down in our office that, you know, have that uncertainty, which means a lot of people in the county are feeling the same thing. And we just need to address this. So we submitted an original proposed budget. We subsequently amended it, and what we are proposing is the elimination of 5 positions in our office, and even though one of them is occupied, that person will be put in another open vacant position. So in terms of anybody losing a job within the district attorney's office in 3520, the answer is no. What we did was we decided to make a strategy, and we decided to do the reduction with a plan and a hope for retention. So in eliminating those 5 positions, the end budget amount that we are proposing to cut is $180,847.03. And I submitted that paperwork. But in the process, what I am proposing is an idea I got actually from what the county clerk's office did. And you praised them earlier, Commissioner Modes, because they've been able to do more with less, and I think that's where we are. Right now, we have 10 vacancies. We have 3 people that are hopefully coming on board in the next week or two. But we need 27 attorneys in order to be fully effective. Now, that means our violent crime and gang prosecutors will also serve as line prosecutors. But if that means doing what we're hoping to do, which is allocate some of the monies that are going to be saved by the elimination of those 5 positions, and in turn do pay group increases for the attorneys that we continue to have. And I know 2 pay groups is a lot to ask, but like I said, it's still going to be a $180,000 reduction, but it would give each attorney somewhere between a $7,000 to $10,000 raise, but that would be including benefits. And I know, Commissioner Chesney, you said you don't want to do raises right now, but I think that what you have to look at is the big picture. Our office impacts every other department, and you should see that. I went through the check registries for the first time in a long time, and when you're paying $40,000 in inmate transport fees, and you're paying hundreds of thousands in inmate housing costs, and you've got, you know, all kinds of costs associated with the functions of our office. You've got $1 million in grants that is reliant on CJIS compliance, and our office plays a big role in that. Our office asking for a couple of $100,000 in order to retain the seasoned prosecutors we now have, that's a little ask when you compare it to what's going to happen to this county if we don't retain them and they all leave. You're going to have to write a lot of big checks. And we're doing it ourselves. We're making the cut, giving them the raise, and still giving you $180,000 back. That's what you've asked of us, and that's what we're proposing. And it's a way to get ahead of all this Korn Ferry study, and we're not equal to other areas in our jurisdiction in pay. That's why we're losing attorneys. We're also proposing decreases in our supplies and professional services because we have a new JAG grant for 2023, and we're going to supplement with that. We can supplement the JAG grant money, which is a no match. Y'all don't have to do anything. And so with respect to car allowances, our line prosecutors are already underpaid, so we would never, and Mark does not want to agree to take away line prosecutors' car allowances. But if you will go with our proposal and you will allow these step increases, or actually pay group increases, then for the supervisors, we'll do away with our car allowance. Even though we, you know, we're out there a lot, prosecutors are looking for witnesses, driving around looking for witnesses, trying to interview people, trying to locate crime scenes and just do that personal observation so they have that information for trials and hearings. So the line prosecutors, we would ask that you not touch their car allowances, but whatever you feel is appropriate for supervisors, we would defer to your decision-making power.
How many
So-
attorneys do you have right now?
Total attorneys, we're 10 short of the 27,
So you
so
have 17?
about 17. And that's not including the appellate side, I'm talking line prosecutors.
And what page is your budget on? I'm sorry, we got a pretty big. budget.
278 is, but this doesn't look like the, when did you make
278.
those cuts? Were they
I sent
here?
in my amended proposal August 18th, 2023 at 10:15 a.m.
Are those in here? I
Not
didn't-
yet, there, we just got late, and then we put in the request, we didn't have the chance to put in any recommendations.
Yeah, only one we have is that your budget shows an increase.
Yeah,
That's the only one we have, so we haven't even seen yours yet.
I didn't ask for any increases. Whatever budget was
Yeah.
submitted,
Yeah.
we did the whole, we're just not gonna submit anything. And so if there was any increases, that wasn't done by me, that was submitted by the auditors without either Mark or my approval.
Well, the budget we got shows your reclassifications, you were asking for about $250,000, I believe, if I remember the numbers right, in new numbers, and that's all we have in our budget coming into today. So we'll certainly review whatever it is that you recently
What
submitted.
I was asked
so.
to submit was this sheet right here, which shows
I'm just
my budget savings. And so I didn't ask for an increase in anything. I didn't ask for anything more.
many departments did before we knew the situation we were gonna be in.
But I
So
didn't.
it wasn't.
We didn't.
Yes,
We didn't
okay,
submit.
okay.
The only other thing that I would really like to put before you is Westlaw is an integral part of what we do. I know that it is a big cost savings or a big cost for the county because a lot of different departments use it. But Westlaw is like asking y'all to do away with, any accounting software. It's our go-to. It's where we get the law. It's where we get the information. It's what the judges need, and it has to be up to date. And so I would ask that you not do anything with regard to Westlaw because that is a lifeline for our office and for the other offices that use it.
But that's a separate
That's a s-
subscription that you have within the district attorney's office. That's
No,
not the
it's a
one upstairs.
countywide.
It's countywide.
It's countywide that we work with Michael Robinson and then I think each different department decides what program or what level they want to have. And we don't subscribe to anything that isn't absolutely necessary. So
Westlaw
as
could-
you look to Westlaw, we would ask you please leave
Go
that.
online for Westlaw?
Yes, it's all online for Westlaw. And there's very few books we have to order. We order the TAC books that are like the prosecutor's Bibles. But again, we can use our JAG grant to do that if we need to. So we did reduce some of that. And then the other thing I would ask you to please consider, and maybe it's too late, I didn't know y'all were thinking about it. The central jury room, when we have big murder trials and capital murder trials, you're talking about calling in 100 to 150 people to sit on jury duty. So if you cut down that central jury room, I don't know where y'all expect us to have jury selection for our big murders and capital murders, because you can't squeeze 100 to 150 people even in half that size of that central jury room. Right now, we split them up into 3 sections, and there's still sardines in there. So I would ask that you stop and think, because that will completely stall the trial process if we lose half that central jury room. I don't know where we go to pick our juries.
Yeah, that wasn't real high on our list, just so you know.
So,
Yeah.
That was just that was option, that was one of like 5 options. and
Comments.
right,
none of us
well,
really-
I understand,
none of-
but I mean, I'm looking at it, I saw it on the July 23rd Commissioners Court meeting that y'all wanted to allocate 400,000 to do the architecture, to go ahead and build it out. So for my purposes, I'm gonna address anything that I think is gonna save people over money.
And in subsequent meetings, we did direct Veteran Services and Social Services to kind of restrict their office space needs, so I don't think that's an issue anymore.
That's not.
So, thank you. But I'm sorry y'all didn't get that paperwork, but again, like I said, I submitted it on August 18th. If you have questions, I'm happy to come back, I'm happy to answer, any questions that you have
How
about
much
it.
how much is a Jack Ranch now?
Our portion for 2023 was 56,000 and the sheriff got 56,000. We've allocated, at least by ask, in our proposal, we'd like to buy with some of that grant money, what we offered up was Faraday bags. That's the special bags that you put cell phones and tablets in so that when officers confiscate them, even now, if you turn it on airplane mode, there's ways they can log in and erase data and information, but if you put it in what's called a Faraday bag, it preserves it. The other thing we're hoping to do with the JAG grant money is allot some to help CCPD, Internet Crime Division, get more unlocks on cell phones to speed up the trial processes, and that's gonna be about 15 grand. And then the rest of it, which is about 30, is what we're gonna supplement supplies and books with out of our office.
Now, Commissioners, going by what they had provided, and unfortunately didn't get in there, some of it did, some of it didn't. They show possibly a removal of 4 attorneys, if I'm not mistaken, and that's around a reduction of $366,000, and with the reclassification that y'all just got of 263, if you allow both the reductions and the reclassification, that's still a savings of $102,000.
Yeah, well, that's different than what we had.
Yeah, we just got got.
I mean,
Yes.
I'm just saying it's different than what we had.
Well, like I said, I didn't submit that originally, so I don't even know what you're looking at.
We're looking at all the reclassifications that y'all had asked for before, which increased your budget because you had, what we have is you had asked for, or some, the
Yes, sir, go
DA's
ahead. I know
department
what you're saying.
had asked for a bunch of reclassifications, which were salary increases, and it showed a net gain of 263,000 with no offset, I think.
The offset's on a different page. It shows the positions cut on one page, and again, it was the way that it was laid out. So the positions cut are on one page, and then the reclassifications are on another, sir.
Right, but the original showed an increase in the DA's budget that we had. That's,
$278, whatever back then.
yeah, the original showed an increase.
We never,
Way back when.
Yeah,
36.
please know that we never would have offended the court, the county, or
I'm
other
not.
employees by requesting raises for our people and then increasing the budget. That would have been so wrong, and I hope no department is doing that, but we certainly
No.
did not, so.
And again, as the judge clarified, a lot of these submissions were made before the budget, everybody knew what the budget was gonna be like, so nobody thought you did
Other
that.
people that did
That's-
increase
just
theirs
saying, I
as
don't have
well,
legal-
other departments. They had no
Right.
idea the budget we were gonna be looking
Right.
at, and they were just putting in their normal.
No, the only increase we show for the DA was not anything they had to do, is because our insurance went up, their car rentals went up because they got a few more cars and gasoline had to go up, so those were required to be increased.
It's, nobody thought you did that, or I didn't, so.
No.
So if there's any other questions that come up, please let us know, but I would ask you, please consider this. Our job descriptions are different. They are criminal. It says felony 1, criminal, felony 2, criminal, misdemeanor, criminal. We're criminal attorneys. We deal with 14,000 to 18,000 cases a year, and it's growing. I mean, we've seen the ramifications. And so if you look at our trial record, we're doing excellent. A lot of trials, a lot of clearing out of the jail. We're still working on CJIS, even though it's not that time, so, just please consider allowing those pay group steps.
Thank you very much.
Dale, can I want to make sure nobody else wanted to say anything before I ask Dale some more questions?
Okay.
Thank. Judge, I got more questions, but I know there's a lot of people sitting here. I don't know if they want to talk or not. I don't know if anybody else.
Do any of the other departments want to come up and talk before? Yes, Rebecca and Juan, go ahead. Do you know where social services is in our book, since she is coming up, so we can see their cuts?
Social services begins on page, the administration is Q87. The services that are provided to the residents within Nueces County is on Q88. And Children Protective Services is on Q89. So it's those
Right
three
there
pages in
together.
a row.
Thank you.
And we've already gone over this
Yes.
last time, so really what I have for you is just a handout from some other social service groups within the community addressing potential cuts. I had let them know I would provide that to the court, and that's what I'm doing. So that's from our partner agencies, Robstown Housing Authority, Robstown Utilities, Catholic Charities, United Way. And you'll see them in there. There may be some more coming in, and I'll get those to y'all.
Thank you, ma'am.
Is there any questions?
Thank you, Rebecca, appreciate it.
Yeah, I think
Thank
we're good. Juan?
No, they're not.
As included.
And Public
You look at
Works, what number
M1,
is
look at
he?
the caption.
Are you discussing building?
We're gonna Road and Bridge first.
Road and Bridge first.
Or both.
Already done last year that we have to deal with, I think. Which one?
Sir, Road and Bridge.
And is it in our, what,
R1?
what tab? R1?
Tab R, yes.
R,
Well, actually, the R1 is really a summary. If you want to go to the expenses, it's going to be R3, or I believe it's R3 is the expenses.
okay.
R3
think-
is where the expenses start.
Yeah, Judge and Commissioners, if you look at, based on the 15% that was requested for cuts within our department, Road and Bridge, estimated about 1.3 million of budget from Road and Bridge itself. The total amount was, about 500,000 in materials and about 600,000 in capital. So our materials are gonna, for the Road and Bridge construction is gonna go down. And especially now with the increase of materials that, for the base materials, we got proposals in the past few months, and it was about 2.5 times the cost of what we normally pay last year. So I just want to make sure, Judge and Commissioners, that our road and bridge improvements for construction and rehabilitation is probably going to get cut about half what we're doing right now. Normally, we do anywhere from 150 miles to 70 miles per year road rehab. So based on these proposed budget cuts, we're probably going to be doing half of that or less than half of that because we're not going to be able to have the materials that we need. So I just want to make sure that I point that out. In regards to the capital, we are eliminating any purchase of new equipment. I know here in the past few years, we bought grade alls and we bought, today, we're going to pick up the hydrovac. So on that, we zeroed out that budget. We also zeroed out overtime in our budget. So there's not going to be any overtime for our staff within Road and Bridge. So that's what we recommended. And then also, so those are the main ticket items. We do get a lot of calls from the constituents for road repairs. So I just want to make sure that sometimes we react the same day. So based on whatever materials we have, it's a possibility that we might not react because we don't have that material. And so we're going to have to, those services are going to have to be slowed down a bit. Hopefully, joking, you know, I don't want to, our roads, I know we keep up with the roads real well within our county. We maintain our roads. And by cutting some of these materials, we are going to have some deals where it's going to be a domino effect because we're not going to be able to take care of it next year. So it might have to be pushed back till next year or the following year. So I just want to make sure I bring that up, Judge and Commissioners. In regards to building, if I can change to building, our budget cut is about close to 400,000 that we submitted. A lot of it has to do to some performance contracts that we're eliminating that we're going to recommend eliminating as part of the budget. And I just want to make sure that also on that is going to be I know we do get a lot of work orders from some of these departments, and some of those work orders are gonna have to kind of, again, be selective on what's priority. And that goes back to painting and flooring and all that stuff. So painting and flooring is gonna have to get kicked back, pushed back because of our budget cuts, Judge and Commissioners. I know that we have budgeted, we're planning on budgeting for next year, because I know that there's floorings like the DA's office and also the county attorney's office that is in really bad shape. And we were looking at that for this coming year to replace those carpets and flooring, because they do need to be improved. But based on this budget cut, we are gonna have to push those back probably to the following year.
You know what, let me just, I'm sorry to interrupt, but if you said flooring and painting and all that, I can understand that.
Yes, sir.
But if it's, and I think you and I work real good on this, if it's in my precinct, you know, if I have the monies, I take care of it. And normally that's what happens in my precinct, right? And if not, we'll work together with it.
Yes, sir.
And, but I just wanted to know whatever it's in my precinct that I know that I can help, I wanna help, you know? If I have the money in my budget, you know, I don't mind paying for painting, I don't mind paying for the floors if it's, within my precinct, and the buildings that are in my precinct, right?
Yes, sir.
So, I've always done that with the building there in Bishop and, you know, the senior center there in Bishop, and so, you know, whatever, while you're cutting back, and I know you might not be able to get to it maybe 2-3 weeks down the road, or 4 weeks, I understand that, but if there's something that we can do, or I can do,
Yes, sir.
then you need to just let me know, and I'll be glad to work with you on that.
Thank you,
Okay.
Commissioner. And just to kind of give you how much work orders we get per year, we get anywhere from, on the building, we get 4,500 work orders a year. In our road and bridge, we get about 3,000 work orders a year for road and bridge. So that kind of gives you an idea of how many work orders we're doing on a yearly basis. So that keeps our staff real busy when we're either fixing stuff here at the building and/or when we're fixing stuff out on the road. Another thing that I wanted to mention is that we did, as part of our budget, like I mentioned earlier, is that we did cut out our overtime. So overtime is not something that we cut within our budget. So we have zeroed out most of our overtime. And I know that sometimes we have stuff that comes, you know, at 7 o'clock at night or 2 o'clock in the morning or on a Saturday or Sunday. And those are the times we like to compensate the staff to pay them overtime when they come in. But due to these budget cuts, that's one thing that we're looking at, is cutting that out.
So you're cutting out, you're expecting, I mean, that's kind of something that you can't cut. If you have to call people in at 7 o'clock to take care of an issue, we have to pay people.
Yeah, yes, ma'am. Well, but that's something
By
we're looking
law,
at.
yeah.
Yeah, overtime is
It
by
was
law.
like, that's not something that I would
can expect them to work
suggest.
and not pay 'em.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, but I think what he's saying is not all of it I mean, some of it can wait till Monday. I mean, if it's an
Yeah,
emergency. it's an emergency.
some of it can wait till
Depending on
Monday,
the
but some of
emergency.
it.
He's just trying to be more prompt and get things done
But
quicker.
we're still gonna pay people that we have to call in for an
Okay, yes, ma'am.
emergency. Okay, yes.
Maybe not as many can come.
It didn't sound right.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I was like, wait.
So those are the cuts that we had. It's 1.3 in our road and bridge, and then 1.3 million in our road and bridge, 400,000 in the building. Hopefully, we don't have to cut, but hopefully we can get the monies. Like I said, the materials have increased. So in our road and bridge, we're probably gonna end up doing less than what we've done before.
Okay.
Excuse me, one.
Yes, sir.
I for one want to thank you for everything y'all do, you and Jerry. You all do a great job maintaining our county roads. And I've called you whenever I have a problem. Constituents call me saying they're having problems
Sure.
with their drainage or their ditch, and I call you, and y'all guys are very good about responding and taking care of it. So let's hope that things don't get out of hand, because I know if we don't fix our roads when we're supposed to, we're gonna end up looking like the city with potholes everywhere, and then we're gonna be playing catch-up, trying to cover, those things. So we need to set our priorities also.
Yes, sir. It's kind of like I mentioned earlier, it's just going to be a domino effect. You're just going to be pushing back those roads, potholes. So we will be getting some more calls. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Juan.
Any other questions, Judge, Commissioner?
I think we're good. Thank you very much. Do y'all want to take a recess for a few minutes, or are y'all wanting to wrap up, or you want to come back, or I would like
Where
a
are we going?
recess.
I mean, where are we gonna go before, I mean, meaning like, what are we trying to accomplish still today?
I'm fine if
No.
we just want to take everything now and just review it ourselves, but I need to take a recess if we're not going to, so.
Yeah.
Some of the
I
people
just want
might
to make
need
sure
take a
all the
restroom
department
break.
heads have had
Right.
what they want to say to us so
Right.
that we could hear them.
Then can we take a 5-minute recess and we'll be right back? So, yes.
You're in
I've had a
charge.
couple of people tell me they need to go to the restroom too.
You're in charge. You go, you don't have,
I'm taking a 5-minute recess, okay?
you go, girl.
Right back, it is.
Or Commissioner Gonzalez will handle it. That's what you're stuck on.
Do I have to state the time? It's 12:13, but in case anybody wants to know.
Thanks.
Good afternoon, Judge and Commissioners. I did most of my speaking last week, but I just wanted to discuss our budget cuts. Of course, I cut as much as I possibly could. If you look at the budget, our office expenses are about $3,500 annually. I cut $2,500 of that, so we have $1,000 to operate. If you look at the food and kitchen expense, of course, that's $100. I eliminated that completely. The maintenance of the and repair of the equipment and the vehicles. So of course, we were gonna get a vehicle so that we could travel back and forth to the cemetery. That was eliminated completely, so I removed that repair, which is about, let me see, I'm sorry, I'm trying to zoom in.
You were asking for a vehicle and you didn't
We've
get
been
one?
expecting one for 2 years now,
Oh,
Judge.
one of the.
Yes, one of
Yeah.
those.
Wow.
Hurry
Yes.
up and wait. Oh, hold
Yes,
on, it's coming.
so I understand that completely.
And don't we have some vehicles that are just sitting in a lot somewhere too?
Yeah, one.
One? Never mind, I'll check into that, okay.
Yes, ma'am. And then we also cut, we have $1,000 for professional service expenses. We cut that completely. We didn't feel like we needed to move on that. The only thing that we did leave on there was a travel expense, which was, we have budgeted $2,000. I removed $1,500 from that. I left $500 in there because I have to be accredited by the VA, certified and accredited by the VA, and we have to travel for that training once a year. So that's the only thing that I left on there so that we can continue serving our veterans the way we need to. The only other thing I'd like to advocate for is the car allowance. I'm the only one in my department that receives it, but let's keep in mind that we operate and manage the cemetery, and I go out there 3 times a week, at least, to inspect. It's, if you look at the contract, there's a lot that goes behind that contract, so we've been doing a great job in monitoring it, and we're doing great with the state. So I'd like to advocate for that. And on top of that, we do also do large-scale events. We do Memorial Day at the cemetery. We do the Field of Honor, Flag for a Flag, Wreaths Across America. So that's a lot of traveling back and forth to get those ceremonies done. So that's really the only reason I want to advocate for the actual car allowance. In regards to the cemetery, and this is just something that's fresh off the press, I just got off the phone with the General Land Office. In light of the storm that's coming in tomorrow, we will be closing off the cemetery tomorrow. We're going to be closing the services tomorrow. So just wanted to give you that heads up,
Thank you.
and that's all I had.
I
Okay,
appreciate
how much
it.
do you have, or were you using for the food pantry? How much were you spending?
It's roughly about $3,000 a month, sir. And we have some, and Commissioner Modis reached out to me, I think it was yesterday, and I did talk to Ms. B, and we've got some movement there, sir. So thank you very much for bringing that up, and they, so I think we got some movement there.
I think we might be probably get a little more help.
Yes, sir. And what they're gonna be doing is they're gonna be providing food that's pop-up, especially for our homeless or low-income veterans. So we have some movement on that, so thank you very much, Court. Any
Okay.
questions for Veteran Services?
Thank you very
Okay,
much for
thank
what you do.
Thank you,
Yes,
Judge.
ma'am.
Y'all
I
doing a
think-
great job over there, man.
Thank you, sir.
Scott Cross is online and he's requested to speak next, and then we'll get to you.
Yeah, I was just gonna see if y'all had any questions after reviewing what I submitted to Dale. I think we did a good job of getting y'all where you needed to be. Again, I want to reiterate, our revenue is gonna increase substantially next year with some of the stuff we have going on. And right now, by the time I get to end of September, I'm projecting about 1.3 million in revenue that we've made. And, you know, that revenue that we make all goes to offset my next year's budget so that I reduce my dependency on the general fund. And that's the way it's always been. And so, and Commissioner Chesney knows this, we work real hard to increase that amount. It just, just so happens between Hurricane Harvey and Hurricane Hannah, by the time we get one step forward, we get knocked a step back. So, but we're working hard on that. And Commissioner Chesney, I did get your message on that Road District 4. I'll get some estimates. And if there's some CO monies that we could use and you'd rather me to do that, I'm fine with that. But I'd really like to try to stay out of ARPA. I haven't had to use any projects on ARPA money other than what y'all dedicated to the pier, just because it's such an arduous vetting process. But I can look at some other grants if that doesn't work out. So just want to let y'all know, if y'all have any questions, let me know. I'll go find some money out there.
It's just a supplemental, you know, it's just a one-time supplemental that would come out of, right, the budget on a one-time basis and be substituted with this. So it's just got to qualify, Scott, and it's just got to be something that's, you know, going to get done anyway. So I guess, yeah, take a look at it and call me later if we need to talk more about it.
Okay, sounds good. Again, I want to reiterate y'all that we're going to be fine. We'll make it work. So thank you.
Thank you.
Judges, Commissioner, so we did submit our budget of 10% cut and our proposed budget. And first of all, I want to thank, you know, Lisa, Dale, and Ade. They've been very helpful this past week in getting this thing expedited. So thank y'all very much. We're still working out some details with Dale. For instance, I'm waiting on to see if a couple of people might retire or not. That will be included if, you know, if I get that word by tomorrow. But we'll get him, you know, the bottom line, and it won't be below the $678,000 that we've already proposed. In addition to that, I just want to give you this as an FYI on the agenda for this Wednesday, actually. There will be a request for a raise for our certain eligible candidates for the probation department. I say that because this is a legislatively funded initiative. We've worked hard the last several sessions to get to where we're at right now by way of additional state aid, which has helped in this exercise, and specifically monies set aside for salary increases. It's a 5% this year and then a 5% next year. They also included monies for fringe benefits. So this will be solely state funded, but for sake of transparency, I just wanted to give you the heads up that this will be on the agenda for Wednesday to discuss.
And in their legislation, it wasn't just limited to any time frame or anything. It's just, it's funded every year.
Yes. But it starts this year and then another 5% next year, and then it will be continuous funding.
Yes.
Yeah.
No cost to the county. Clear.
Thank you.
Anyone else want to speak about their? And I know Ida was here last week and spoke as well, but yes,
Just
go
wanted to
ahead.
reiterate that she did submit her budget change order. Our statistics are all available because I sent it to y'all in April. We'll probably come back again for our annual statistics. But the law library also just helps pro se clients as well, so about 3,000, and attorney visits as well.
And it has the Westlaw up there too, but I wasn't understanding that the Westlaw subscription is for the whole county. It's not individual departments.
Right, but I
Yes.
know for ours, I think it's individual, so I have to
Oh,
get back
yours
with.
is? Okay,
Yes,
okay.
we're separate, so yeah.
That's what I thought it was for the law library.
Yeah, that's, thank you. Thank you for clarifying. Yes. Mr. Soleil, you want to speak about HR?
So I also wanted to make the court aware that HR has also made some budget cuts in consideration of the anticipated budget deficit. Our total cuts include a scale back of our initial request of $110,000 increase in our budget for fiscal year 23-24, and an additional cutback of $145,000. That includes the reduction of a position that I currently have that is not filled. I don't plan to fill that position. I'd also requested.
You're deleting that position then?
I will be
Yes.
deleting that
Yes,
position,
wanted to be
yes.
clear for the court, yes.
We'll be deleting that position. And my request is to actually promote one of my staff members in anticipation of deleting that position. to reorganize my current staff to complete the duties that we are responsible for. And even with that promotion, we still will realize a $25,000 reduction in terms of our operating expenses. So that would make our actual reduction recommendation total to be about $255,000. So I wanted to make the court aware of that.
Very good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Anybody else? Any other departments? Any other questions, anything? Any other, any adjournments in memory then? If we're not going to come back, does anyone have any?
May I?
Yeah.
Yes, just to, the court is just, I understand this is a hard process for everybody. And just to point it out again about the tax rate, and I don't know if Dale wants to go again on that. If we had the tax increase, we're gonna be in the positive side, without taking
With the
any,
cuts we've
any of the,
already made.
these
With the
cuts
cuts
that we,
made.
that's correct. We already had the cuts,
Yes.
so he already entered that, so that's something important to just, the court, I know that's gonna have a lot of homework to do between today and tomorrow. Wednesday, we're gonna have the meeting, we're gonna talk about it again, about this again. So just to put it out there, with the increase, which is actually an increase, because it's less than the last year tax rate, still being in the positive side for everybody, without still going through this. So this is gonna bring you up and down, depends on the court's decisions.
Do you have anything to add to that, Dale?
No, it's just saying, we'll, on Wednesday, we'll provide you what we are proposing the rate's gonna be. Again, this is the only proposal, this is what your ceiling of your rates are gonna be. Anything above the no new revenue tax requires public hearings, public notices, and stuff that goes in our newspaper. So we'll be providing you the proposed rate for the county as well as the hospital district and the farm to market road. And at the general fund, it will also include the debt service rate that we're proposing for y'all's consideration. Again, this will be a record vote. This is just a proposed rate, so this is what we're going to do, where we start our discussion for. And on the time we come up to September 7th, that's when we'll actually decide what the rate is to be adopted.
So the proposed rate is just a ceiling.
Just a ceiling,
Right, this is not a vote on that rate,
And
it's just a
just-
ceiling. And then
Correct.
the September 7th was what, did you say?
That's where you'll actually choose to adopt a rate.
And then September 13th is the final budget.
Whatever that is, the 13th, whatever the 13th date, that's the day you'll do the rate as well. That's when you adopt the rate in the budget at the same time.
13th.
13th.
I think we meet on the 7th.
I thought I
right.
misspoke on the 7th.
That's okay, I just want
I
to make
think
sure.
last year was the 7th.
And just to reiterate, our prior rate is 0.291659.
That's correct.
The no new revenue tax rate this year would be 0.240253. And if we did the 3.5% increase, the voter approved tax rate would be 0.252755. Still well below the 0.291.
So what we're going to be asking the court to do is go through the information you have. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to call myself, Lisa, Ida, or Teresa on any of this. We'll be glad to discuss any matters of additional cuts if we need to, or additional valuations. If, for example, some of these items that are, all five commissioners have a certain level, if you want some cut or reduction, please let us know, and we'll make sure we make those, take that as a consideration before we do the final propose for you.
Thank you. Any other questions? Anybody suggestions? We didn't have any adjournments in memory, so I guess I will accept a motion to adjourn. We have a motion.
Second.
And a second. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed, same sign. It is 12:27 and we are adjourned.